What's happening? What's happening? I'll let me. How y'all doing tonight, man? Still standing Friday, man. What's going on, Alina? How you doing tonight? Thank you for joining the live. I appreciate you. How you doing tonight, man? Laura, thank you for joining the live. How you doing? Jules, what's happening with you? Thank you for joining the live. How y'all doing tonight, man? How's everybody doing tonight? Friday, y'all, we done finally made it through the week. How y'all doing? I'm good. How you doing, Laura? Good to see you tonight. How was your week? I'm doing good, man. Thank you for being here. How's everybody doing tonight, man? It's Friday. Friday. Can never complain on a Friday, y'all. Never complain on a Friday, man. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate it. How's everybody doing tonight? Let me know how y'all doing, man. How y'all doing? How was y'all week this week, man? Hope y'all had a great week. Been a good week for me, man. Been an awesome week, actually. Hopefully y'all had a good week, man. Been real good. Like I said, it's Friday, y'all. Long week. It's going to be a good weekend. I'm looking forward to it. What's up, Bonnie? How you doing? Thank you for joining the live. I appreciate you. It's going to be a good week, man. Weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Man, y'all got any big plans for this weekend? Y'all let me know. Hold on. Yeah, it's going to be a good weekend, man. But no, man, like I say, everybody, hold on, I'm playing this right quick. Hold on, y'all. All right, move out my way. I can't see. It is. What's up, Thomas? See. How you doing? How was your week? It's Friday. Appreciate it, Thomas. What's happening with you, Laura? How you doing? How are you? I sure appreciate y'all, man. Hey, that's the jam right there, Thomas. Yes, Lord. Laura, how was your week? Thomas, how was your week? Good, man. Hopefully everybody, man, had a great week. Food Vinaigrette, have a great weekend. What's up with you, Bonnie? Hold on. I don't know if I can hear you. Bonnie, what's going on with you?
Very, very little.
Bonnie, can you hear me?
It's beer, but
I don't know. Hate that it's Friday. Been on vacation. Oh, damn, Lord. Hey, going back to work, coming from that vacation is tough. Hey, it's tough. Thomas said, I'm waiting on a phone call from the emergency vet. Thomas, what's going on with them babies over there? They ain't choked. They ate something that they ain't supposed to be doing, had it? Hey, it's always rough when it comes to the dogs. It's rough, Laura. It's rough. Going back to work from that vacation is tough. Has you wondering and questioning your life. What's up with your Thomas?
Man, April is just the shittiest month ever.
What happened?
Every year it just sucks.
What happened?
My golden retriever just wasn't right today, and I took her to the emergency vet and waiting to see if the cancer has spread to her lungs. And if it's only located in her spleen, we'll move ahead with surgery.
Wow.
And then, you know, the EC's birthday's tomorrow. My dad, who's in heaven's, birthday's Sunday. My mom died on the 16th. Like, just fuck April.
Oh, my God.
Fuck April. And taxes. Let's not forget about that.
Look. Boy, we got the message from the lady today. I didn't cry.
What message?
She said we're going to file an extension, but she sent out the first number. I said, we got to fix this.
Yeah, but you got to pay penalties.
Last month.
You got to pay penalties if you don't pay something towards it.
We're going to have to file an extension. They're going to come find you, boy.
I ain't going to jail.
I ain't got it. Shit, I ain't got it.
I ain't
You know
going
what I'm
to jail.
saying?
I ain't.
I ain't got it. I ain't got it. Shit.
You know, I would owe everybody else in the world, but I'm never going to owe the IRS.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree with you. Man, Thomas, that's a rough April.
I mean, it's just, April just sucks. Normally, I'm on a cruise because I like to be away during my dad's birthday and my mom's passing. But I didn't do it this year for some reason, and now I know why.
Now you know why.
I would have left my dog with my daughter, and
But look, and we can. I'm gonna ask you later, but I want you to think about this. What you gonna do about the EC birthday?
I'm not gonna do nothing.
Ain't no reaching out, no nothing, huh?
No, not now. Like, I'm just too emotional right now with my own dog. Like, it's ridiculous, right? But dogs are like, I have a shirt that says, I like dogs better than humans.
Yeah.
Like,
Dogs are we don't deserve dogs.
and I have this other dog that I rescued when we were in the Middle East, and I absolutely hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's just feral. We got her off the street, and I don't want to be left with that dog. Like, I can't even have people at my house with this dog.
That's a rough April though.
It's a rough April. It's
Look,
back to back.
$7.95 says my daughter's no contact unless she needs a babysitter. I'm 63. Ooh. So you dealing with you dealing with that aspect of it, right? No contact unless she needs a babysitter. That's tough, Thomas.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what I mean? That is tough, right there.
But I mean, she's her grandma, so she's never going to say no.
Yep. Hold on. Wait, damn. Hold on, man. Hold on. We starting early tonight. Perkins says, brother is swinger and started swinging with my son, and his wife took grands away when confronted. Perkins, hold on now, damn it. Shit, we ain't been on 5 minutes. Hold on, Perkins. Man. Whoa. That's what I'm saying, Laura. Like, damn. You done took my breath away early today. Wow. What's happening, Val? Perkins, that's my goodness. Brothers are swinging, started swinging with my son and his wife, took grands away when confronted.
And brother, hold on, wait a minute. Brother now has kidney failure and lost everything. Hey, Ritz.
What's up, Ritz? Wow. Hold on, though. I'm still so. Damn, Perkins, it's a little. That's so early. I want to hear the story because it's like, man, it sounds so interesting. Man, it's a lot going on. That's a lot to decipher through.
First, we got to tap the screen, share the live, and like.
Hey, tap that screen, share that live, and I appreciate y'all, man. That's a lot. Like, hold on, haven't seen grands in 8 years. That's what, haven't seen the grandkids in 8 years, right? We'll start. Laura, that's a lot, man. So, Perkins, hold on, let me ask you a question. So, your son and his uncle got him onto the swinging, swinging aspect, and changed the way that your son thinks now, and you haven't been able to see your grandson in forever because your son is over here swinging. I mean, help me out now, damn it. That's a lot. You know what I mean? Like,
good comes from swinging.
It don't. It might be the little dopamine hit and some fun, but ain't nothing good coming from that. Bonnie says EC's son and his wife had a baby 4 days ago. Bonnie, did they tell you about the baby? Were you able to see the new grandbaby or anything of that nature? Didn't you reconnect? I did, Eva. I'm being punished because I confronted them. Parkers, my question to you is, why did you confront them? Like, listen, we may not agree. What did I walk? No, I don't even know. I mean, Parkers, here's my thing to you right quick. Why did you confront them? Right? We might not agree with our children's lifestyles, but that's their choice. And we're talking about adults. Correct me if I'm wrong, Perkins. You get what I'm saying, though, Thomas?
I agree.
Like if
what
your
they
child
do
is
in their
swinging,
private life
they're
is
swinging.
none of my business, so long as
Exactly.
it's not brought to my front door.
Exactly. I mean, like, no, everything is the same. Okay.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
my brother's uncle. Okay.
Matt believes we went to space.
Artemis 11 is back on. But
Look, man, I cannot buy into this crap because I can't even make a phone call from my own house. I have no
come
signal.
on. Hold on, but Perkins says, but it is family, and I was told by my niece. So Perkins, do you feel like your brother went behind your back and kind of put your son into this alternative lifestyle that you didn't agree with? Is that what it is? Bonnie said we only knew because his mom called us. Oh, about the grandbaby. So Bonnie, how do you feel about that? So Perkins, that's what it is. All right. So you feel like your brother set your son into this alternative lifestyle, and you got a problem with it. Perkins, my question to you is, how old is your son? Like Laura said, how old is the son? Yeah, that's what I want to know. Because look, man, Thomas just said it. You know, we a lot of times we don't agree with our. Yeah, no, Perkins, you tripping. No, no, no. He's
43 years old?
43 years old. Perkins, he 43. That's a grown man. Right, Thomas?
Yes.
And look, Perkins said still his nephew, but Perkins, that's a grown man, though. I know that's your son. I know you love him. That's yeah. Yeah. I thought he was young. I did too, Lord. I thought he was like 18, 19, and his uncle introduced him to the golden box.
Hey, I want to
But
say something to Bonnie really quick.
go ahead.
Bonnie, I know that hurts you, that you had a grandbaby 4 days ago, but you know what? That grandbaby is a part of your legacy and a blessing.
Correct. Yeah.
No matter how it goes, look at it that way.
Bunny says, I've been in a good place for months now, but the news of the baby has brought it all back. Yeah. So, Bunny, what really hurts you is just the fact that you didn't know that they were having a baby and you found out by her mother. Is that the big issue to you? Like, man, no one even told me anything about that, and that brought up all these emotions to you. Let me know that. Perkins, I hate to
The
see you leave, man. I mean, it's just, but it's all good.
Bonnie's child's spouse's mother told her.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Perkins says brother has asked me to donate kidney after 8 years of no contact. Man, Perkins, I gotta get you up here, man. I can't listen. We gotta talk to you. That's a story that needs to be talked to, man. Cause that's a whole lot going on. I need to that's a lot. Hey, y'all make sure y'all like and share my live, man. I appreciate y'all. But yes, Brent. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Laura. I gotta hear the story. Shit, I need to hear this. That's a whole lot right there going on. Cause I'm kind of confused. I get the fact that you kind of upset with your brother, you know, putting your son on an alternative lifestyle. My only issue with that, Perkins, is that's a grown man at 43 years old. So it ain't like your brother had to, twist his arm or anything of that nature. I mean, I get you might have a little issue with him putting it on that, but what can you do? That's a grown man. You know what I mean, Thomas?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a grown man. Bonnie says, no, we knew about the baby. It's just another grandchild we can't see. Oh, I got you, Bonnie. I got you. But Thomas always says, Bonnie, if we don't have a relationship with our adult children, can we expect to have a relationship with our grandchild? We need to work on our relationship with our adult children before we're able to have a relationship with our grandchildren. It just won't happen if not. The
Oh,
EC child,
yeah.
EC child's my stepson. His mom told her, I got you. I got you. I got you. Hey, I know that bothers you, Bonnie, because that's a whole nother hurt. But you know what I'm saying? It's for us parents, I think we have to start realizing and understand that these grandchildren are not our children. They're not our do-over children, right? We have to understand that, like, they're not our do-over children. It's hard for parents to understand that aspect of life. Like, hey, these are not our grandchildren, they're not our do-over children. So we got to realize that, hey, we need to build a relationship with our adult children to have a relationship with our grandchildren. It's tough.
I mean,
You know
think
what I
about it.
mean?
If you don't have a relationship with your own child,
Correct.
I mean, I don't see anything good coming out of it if you have one with your grandchild.
Correct. But times you ever notice, like, seems the biggest issue in estrangement.
Yeah, it is.
You notice that?
It
Like
is.
every time we come on live, that we get that right there the most. What do I do? Can't have a relationship with my grandchildren. How do I fix that aspect? You notice that, Thomas?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's
Because a lot of them, and I'm an estranged parent, but a lot of them come up and they're not interested in fixing the relationship with their own child, but they want access to that grandchild.
And tell them again for the ones in the back, Thomas.
It's not going to work.
Mm. Mm.
And
That's
that's a hard pill to
100%.
swallow.
It is. Yeah. Bonnie says, my dad, my husband wants to send a edible arrangement. I'm sure we will. Laura said, that's wrong. What's wrong, Laura? Talk to me. What is wrong? Yeah, she said, my husband. Oh, your dad and your husband want to send an edible arrangement, and I'm sure we will. I mean, if you feel like that's the right thing to do, you know what I'm saying? I don't see anything wrong with that. Or are you on that lines of Bonnie to where you like, man, I don't want to send them shit. I don't want to send them nothing because I know I won't be in that child's life. Is that where you at? And to me, if you own that line, it sounds like you're angry right now, right? You and your feelings.
She can do whatever she wants so long as it doesn't have expectations.
Yeah. Bonnie says, I know, right? Yeah, I'm just asking. But say that again, Thomas.
Anybody can do whatever they want so long as they don't have any expectations.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Texas says you have to have a loving, hold on. You have to have a loving relationship with your kids from birth to death. All right. Let's talk about that. Texas. You saying you got to have a loving relationship with your children from birth to death. Does that mean you have to have a loving relationship even if your children have disrespected you or done anything on a negative aspect to your life? Are you still supposed to have a loving relationship with your kids from birth to death? Answer me that, and we're going to talk about it. Laura says, only want access to the grandchild while tension with their own child. That is bizarre. 100%, Laura. That's what Thomas be saying. That's what Thomas
I couldn't
be saying,
do it.
Laura.
I couldn't do it. And
Yeah.
I don't know if my estranged child has a child or pregnant or whatever, but there's no way I would want that because anything you say can be twisted, and
Correct.
I wouldn't want that.
Correct. Thomas always says that, Laura, you're 100% right. You know, only one access to the grandchild while it's tension with their own children. That's bizarre. Like, how can you have a relationship with your grandchild while you at your adult child's neck? Y'all beefing, y'all arguing all the damn time. It just don't make sense to me, right? Work on that relationship to have a relationship with your grandchildren. They control your grandchildren. Understand that, y'all. These are not your children. I don't give a damn what you say to yourself. They not your children. So you need to work on your relationship with your adult child to have a relationship with your grandchildren. It is what it is. That's the truth. Let me see. She said mine never did.
Never did.
Yeah.
Oh, she's saying her children, or they are saying their children never left them. They have a nice, active love relationship with
that's good.
Grandkids. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Good. That's fantastic. Mine never did. Oh, fantastic then, Tess. But listen, just because that's your situation, there's a lot of parents who were good parents who don't have a relationship with their adult children. And I get what you're saying. In a perfect world, we'll love our children, protect our children, do every damn thing to death, right? But we talking about what a lot of parents are dealing with now, which is estrangement.
First, there's a lot of trashy parents out there, like you said.
Correct. Yeah.
And the second thing is there's a lot of parents out there that did do the right thing, but there's so many different influences that can come into play. Hey, Marie.
Hey, Marie, what's happening?
Count your blessings. I hope you're never one of us, Texas.
I do too. Yeah, you don't want to be on this side.
Jules, thank you, Aaron. I took some of your advice and it's worked. Oh, there's Jules. That's the woman that gave me a stroke.
Oh, what's happening? Hold on. Laura says, no, I don't want to deal with that as well, creating even more conflict. Mindy says, I want a relationship with all of them. Man, hey, listen, baby, we all do. We all do. In a perfect world, we'll all have a great relationship with our adult children, right? But like I say, a lot of us are dealing with estrangement right now. We're struggling. You know? So.
Hey, Stacy, really quick.
Go ahead.
I know you said my oldest daughter has cut me out when she met her boyfriend a year and a half ago. I'm going to say the same thing. You can't just blame the other party because your daughter has access to make a phone call to you
Come
at
on.
any time or email or whatever.
100.
I had to let go of that.
Let me ask you a question. Why as parents you think we do that?
Why? Well, for me, it was easier, right? Instead of having to face the fact that in his eyes, I was a shitty mom, even although I don't think I was, but hey, that's to each person to figure out for themselves. And the second is I would have to face who I think he truly is. And that's hard for a parent.
I agree. Yeah. So you think that, for us parents, we blame others because we don't want to look at the truth.
100%.
Yeah.
And us as parents, you and I have admitted this. We've lied when people ask us about our kid.
Yeah.
Oh, they're great. Just saw them last week. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. I was so embarrassed.
Yeah, me. And shame.
Was so embarrassed about the whole situation with my child. It was embarrassing for me. I lied so damn much I would forget the lies.
Yeah.
But Aaron, you do speak, you can see that, and some of us can't see that. Like you said one thing to me, and you said, I think, Jules, you are a little obsessed with your son, and you were right.
I actually
and
said
I
that.
stopped
That's okay.
chasing, Aaron. I stopped chasing. That phone went quiet. And I'm going to tell you, something happened on Easter. I choked on a piece of meat and I almost died. So my sister-in-law is a nurse at Mayo Clinic, and she did the Heimlich maneuver on me 5 times before I came back to consciousness. So my son, for the first time, had called me, and I didn't get upset about it. He said, I'm not coming to Easter. I'm spending it, with his girlfriend's family. I said, okay. I didn't get crazy. I didn't say, well, can't you come both places? I got an Easter basket for you and everything I would have said before with money in it, all the stuff I didn't say nothing. So my husband called, I said, don't tell him what happened because it's going to seem like, oh, I'm dying because he went somewhere else. So my husband went out. He said, no, this isn't happening. He's got to know what happened to his mother. So he called him, and I don't know what the deal is with these. He called me. He was crying like a baby. And he said, I've never heard Dad like that. I've never, and I said, I'm okay. Don't worry about it. Have a nice time. And that night I got home and he showed up at my house. He lives 45 minutes away. And he said, Mama, I just had to see if you were okay. And I don't know what some of them, they have this hard-nosed act that, really, when the chips are down, I really feel these kids love their parents. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just, I don't know. But I didn't. So I said, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Hold on, Bruce. Let me say something real quick. I think it's what Timon says. A lot of times they are so embarrassed about their actions.
I think so.
That they don't know how to come back from that.
But I also,
go ahead.
I also would, Jules, think that her son's an only child. Like, we're just assholes. I mean,
but you know what? I think if some of these kids, if their mother or father had a life or death situation, he came back he acted like he was going to die because, I thought I would have never expected that reaction from him. I thought he had written us off, and I don't know. He's still going to be a little distant, but I'm okay with that because I did think I was expecting too much from him. I do. Right. And so he wants to be a man, and I should be glad that he wants to be a man. And I'm going to tell you, when I was going out, I saw my life flash before me. I saw me holding him when he was a baby, when he graduated from college. And I thought, I don't want to die without him being here. And that's the last thing I remember. And I just thought, I wasn't speaking disrespectfully towards him, but I was acting a little bit. I wasn't hearing him when he said, I'm a grown-ass man. I wasn't hearing him. I really wasn't.
I don't think it was you weren't hearing him. You weren't seeing him as a grown man.
Right. But I was also, I had to make sure that the grown man didn't fail. And I think he wants to, have his own consequences. And as much as it would, kill me because I got to save him, I got to let him just do that.
Mm.
And and he's not calling me every day. He came over Easter and then he's texted me a couple times. But it's okay. Like, I'm thinking, some 31-year-old men don't text their mama 3 times a day. You know what I mean? I have to be okay with some of it. If I'm always telling him it's never enough, it's never going to be nothing then.
Correct. 100%.
So when you said to me, I think you're a little obsessed with him, it stuck with me. And I said, now, and so I started looking at it as an outsider, like you looked at it coming in. And I thought, Aaron's probably right. And I think that really it's scary to stop chasing and everything. But I just got real quiet. And I think it helped him too. Like maybe he felt that pressure of me bombarding him all the time. And I don't know what. And even if our relationship isn't, like 3 times a day talking, as long as I have communication and he respects me and I respect him, I mean, I don't know. You have to learn to live with what you can get and not what you dreamt your life with your kid was going to be.
Hey,
that's right.
Boy, look here, Jules.
I know. I can't be having another stroke.
You better come. Jules, you better come on tonight now, damn. Look,
let's address something that Jules said when she said that she didn't want her son to be told because of we're always told they view it as manipulation, right?
Right.
Like a blanket statement.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I really screwed up last year when I had that big thoracic surgery and it was emergency. And, we didn't tell my child because I was so afraid from everything that I had heard on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you consistently hear that.
Yeah, my husband said, I don't care what you say. And he went out on the porch, and I don't know what he said to him. But he said, Mom, I never heard Dad like that. He couldn't even get his words out. I said, what? Is Mom dead? He goes, I thought you died. And I said, oh. And he goes, I'm so glad. And next morning he texted me. He said, I am so glad. I woke up so traumatized. For a second, I thought I could have lost you. Now, he's never said anything like that to me in many years. So I thought, wow. But I thought he was going to see me as, like manipulating a situation. But he did say something was funny. He said, Mom, how you always say, hey, maybe you should call me sometime. Maybe, when are you going to call me when I'm dead? And he said, and it almost happened.
Oh, damn.
Because I used to say, I could be dead. You never call me. So then he said, Mom, when you always say, call me because I could be dead tomorrow, it almost did happen. So I was like, even that, I did use that as manipulation, right? In the past, I did.
Listen, what Stacy just said. She said, if something happens to me, I don't want my daughter to know, but her siblings will let her know. And Thomas, is that kind of the mindset that you had when you were going through your situation?
So my situation happened very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And it was like, boom, you've got thymoma, carcinoma, or whatever, I don't know. But it was in my thymus gland. So I had to have thoracic surgery. And I just didn't have enough time to even think about it. And I mean, I believe the blanket statements that if you reach out to them, it's just a form of manipulation. But then there's the other side of it. If you don't reach out to them and they find out, then that's going to hurt them, right?
Do you regret
if
that,
they care?
Thymus? Do you regret it?
Do I regret it?
Yeah.
What's up, Coach?
So, pardon me. If I had already come to the mindset that if this was a familia form of cancer, I would let them know. Or somebody would let them know. But I didn't want to put any more stress involved in this situation because, he doesn't speak to any of us. So if he was there, my daughter was there, I don't know what the hell would have happened. My daughter's ruthless.
Yeah. Got some gangsters.
So,
yeah, but that was cancer. I mean...
it was a very low stage. And to be quite honest, I wouldn't have wanted anybody to see me in that state. I looked like I was licking windows in a mental ward. It was awful. They had me so drugged up. But
Did your husband want to tell?
no, my family. I'm so there's things in my past that I that wasn't very private, and we lived kind of like a very public life, and now I do nothing but crave my privacy,
Mm.
and I really crave my privacy.
It was a tough time for you. Hold on. Laura says, if something happened to me, I will not reach out to my EC regardless of their circumstance. Laura, hold on. I'm going to ask you a quick question. I know you said beforehand, I caught this. You said you actually wrote a book about this. Explain that to me. If you want to come up and talk to, let me know. Because I would be interested in that. But so, Jules, with your whole situation, not chasing, dealing with an only spoiled child, right?
Yes.
And dealing with a different type of love. Like I said, to me, whenever you told me your story, I seen you as being obsessed with your son. I seen
Yes.
somebody who was like, you were almost putting your son in your husband's position.
I
This
was
was-
putting my son ahead of my husband.
Ahead of him.
This
Correct.
was the
And-
woman
and-
that said she would move.
Absolutely. And I would not, and you know what? And anytime he used to dangle a carrot to me, like he did, like by coming over and saying, "Oh, Mom, I just want to hug you," and this and that, I would have been on their phone every day going, "What do you need? I'm making you some food." I didn't. He came over. We had a nice visit. He left and things went quiet again. I'm not going to hype it up again to 100 like I used to every time he dangled a little attention towards me. And I think that makes for a calmer relationship for both of us.
I agree. Well, hey, on another positive note, Shannon messaged me today. She said that her and her daughter are in the right, they're having the conversations, visiting each other. Seems like the relationship is trying to move forward. So she seemed like she was in a positive mindset. She said she's taking it day for day, step by step, but she's moving in the right direction. So we might have another family reconnecting again, man.
But I mean, but I'm not
That's
holding
fantastic.
out like, I mean, I'm not, I'm afraid to be super optimistic because I know it can slip right back the way it was, but I'll be okay.
Exactly.
I got my husband. I'll be
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, you're in a different headspace now.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, you're in a different headspace now.
Yep.
Here's the thing I want to say really quick about
Go ahead.
Shannon. And it's not just about Shannon, it's about all of us in a whole. But if you've got that chance and you're working towards reconciliation, get the fuck off of estrangement TikTok.
I agree. What's up,
You
Kirsten?
have no business being in it anymore.
Yeah, and that's what Shannon was saying. When I talked to her, she was just like, man, she's working into, reworking her relationship with her daughter, starting small. And then I'm going to say this again, y'all, as parents, sometimes we need to go back and look at ourselves in the mirror and see what we can change and switch up. A lot of us parents are hard-headed. We don't want to change shit. We are right, they are wrong. Sometimes you got to look at yourself and say, you know what? Maybe my old school way of thinking on this isn't correct. Let me reevaluate that. We got to do that.
And
Aaron-
it's hard because I was raised, my mother say, I'll kill you and I'll go to jail happy. My mother used to say that when she just chased me around the house with a broom and be hit. So,
Oh my God, another broom.
I mean, I was like, okay, so, I mean, the way I raised my son, I thought he was raised like a prince compared to what I had.
Yeah.
And the way my parents, they were so strict, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I thought, what? He's got a dad that was at beck and call, a mother. But, it's not about that. It's about, what they hear you say. They may hear it different than how you mean it. And
Correct.
so it's like you're not as, they should be grateful. They weren't there when you were young and your parents treated you like that and you respected them anyway. They weren't there. That isn't how they were raised. So
That's
I
very
had
true.
to stop and look at myself in the mirror and think, he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders thinking, I'm the only one. If they need all they have is me. And that's how I treated them. All we have is you. You are our lifeline. I can't treat him like that. I have to say, you are free to live your life. You're not, I don't want to be an anchor on him.
Correct.
And he's a very responsible young man. So I know he was feeling the weight of the responsibility of me and his father as we're aging, as whatever.
And I think about it, Jules, too. I think a lot of mothers struggle with that aspect, especially when it comes to their sons.
Yes.
Right? So when your son goes and he gets, married, he's in a serious relationship, the whole dynamic of the family changes. but the
Yes.
mother still wants that relationship that she once had. And we
Mm-hmm.
got to realize now this man is responsible for somebody else. He's responsible for his wife, his children, whatever that looks like for him. He's
Yep.
responsible for that. So he has to change. He has to change.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And on the cool, Jules, you should want him to change. You should want him to mature and get to that point in time where his main focus is his family,
Yes. Yes. And
right?
you know, my mother used to tell me, God rest her soul, he was a baby. And I'd say, oh, he's growing up too fast. And my mother'd say, don't you want to see him grow up and be a strong man? You know what I say? No.
Ooh.
And my mother say, no, 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 no. That's the wrong thing to say.
Yeah.
Don't be like that. And my mother, you know, and I meant it when I said it. No, I didn't want him to grow up. I wanted him to need me forever.
100%. No, I mean, and see, that's rough right there. Because see, that when you think about that right there, that describes your whole relationship with your adult son now,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You loved him so much, you wanted the best for him, but you won't allow him to grow into the man that he needs to be. You've been coddling him. You've
Yep.
been coddling him. So
Yep.
now,
And I put him before my husband. I used to say to my husband, I love you, but you know, my son came out of my body, so I love him a little more. I used to tell my husband that.
Hey, Jules, that's a good man right there.
Yeah, and he'd say, okay.
That's a good man. Hey, Thomas, shit. I'd be like, man, look here. You better get your ass on with all that.
Let me tell you how good my man is.
Uh,
I'm sitting in the emergency vet. I'm laughing right now until I get this phone call, but I'm like, she's 10. She's got cancer. She's got to be put down, crying like an idiot. My husband's like, so what? It's $7,000 to get her surgery. It's just money. I can replace it.
hey, that's a good man.
And I'm just
Yes.
like, what's the life expectancy?
Hey, Thomas, I ain't gonna lie. I'd be like, shit. Hey,
I know.
Doc, make sure she sleep well.
He's probably just thinking, can we just get her to May?
Yeah, like, hey, hold on, y'all. Patty says, I don't think it will ever change. I've tried many times. We never were told why, even my daughter. Patty, that's the hardest thing about estrangement is we don't know why, right? We don't know why the estrangement happened. That, to me, that's the hardest thing. I think if adult children, the ECs can say, you know what, Mom, the way you treated me growing up, some of the things you put me through is the reason that I feel the way that I feel, and they can have conversations. I think a lot of this epidemic can change, but they don't know how to communicate, right? And then they go to therapists, and the therapists are telling them this, they're telling them to cut off their parents are toxic, and all that. I just think if we could get back to communicating with our children.
But see, Aaron, my son has never told us why he distanced himself. He has
That's what
never
I'm
told
saying.
us. But all you can do is work on yourself. That's all you
Correct.
can do. And I want to remain his mother, and his father wants to remain his father as two steady beacons in his life. That's it. I don't want to interfere. I don't want to give advice unless, you know, it's asked. I don't want to tell him you're doing this wrong and that wrong. I'm just not going to do that. I'm taking a step back, and I'm working on myself.
You just said something so important to me. A lot of parents struggle with interfering into their adult children's lives.
Yeah, no.
We struggle with that aspect. We want to control every aspect of their lives, right? That's why you see so many people come on here, and the first thing they say, that's that trash ass wife he got. That's that trash ass husband that she has. And because we want to control everything, and we don't realize the dynamic has changed. The dynamic has changed. Our train of thought has to change. We have to
And
realize.
let me tell you something. You could see the train coming down the track for them. You gotta stay quiet. They gotta get the consequence and deal with it themselves. You could see what's gonna happen. I can tell, but you don't say it. Keep it to yourself.
It's the hardest thing.
Listen, I've struggled to keep my mouth shut for the last week.
Come on.
And not struggle, I've kept it shut.
But times, why you say you struggle with it?
Because I have my daughter who I love. Like, I love both of my kids unconditionally. My son could walk in the door right now. Whatever. Here, come on.
Come on, like, mama hug. I love you.
We'll deal with it when we're both ready, type thing. But my daughter, man, like, she's got a one-way ticket up north for a great grandmother that's going on hospice and taking the baby out of school. And I'm looking at this grandbaby who can't even write her name yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to shut my mouth.
Don't say
Even
don't
though I
say
paid for the
anything.
damn school, I just had to shut my mouth.
Yes, don't say anything.
Man,
Just
kudos
support her.
to you for that, Thomas. Because I know that was hard.
Very hard.
Hey, shit, I know that's hard. Because we want to, look, Thomas, we want to jump in. You want to jump, Thomas, truth be told, what did you want to say?
I wanted to say go up there, but well, you know what my biggest concern was?
Mm.
The grandbaby is 4.
Mm-hmm.
She remembers things. That child is super smart. She remembers my own mother who died 2 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say, please don't have her around that. When you've got somebody on hospice, the matriarch of the family, and they've got 6, she's got, the matriarch has 6 kids. There's going to be a lot of emotions running around that house. And the grandmother's not going to be up and moving. And I just don't want that image to be embedded in the grandbaby's head.
But still, though, Thomas, kudos
Not my
to
decision.
you. Kudos for you to stepping back and saying, you know what? This is not my decision. I'm going to let mama do her job. Whatever mama feels is right. And parents, that's what I'm telling us. A lot of us make that mistake. What we would have done, like what Thomas was saying, we'd have been like, you know damn well you need to take that baby up there. You need to sit your ass down somewhere. That's what we would have said.
Well,
And
But
that's the hardest thing, Aaron.
Yeah.
Keeping your opinion or your advice to yourself. It's very hard. I mean, there's a situation now. I know how it's going to end, but I can't say nothing to him about it. I cannot.
Exactly. 100%. You're right. I mean, and that's the hardest thing, though,
Oh,
June,
so hard.
to sit back and allow them to do the things that they need to do to grow.
And make the mistakes, make the big mistakes. I don't want little mistakes. I don't care. But I've always like, I got to protect him for big mistakes. No, I can't. He has to do the big mistakes too.
You know what I think that both, and I hate to say sides, right? But what else am I going to say? EC and EPs need to get away from all of us. Blanket statements.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that on this app that I could say, I don't know why. And they're just going to call me a liar. Oh, you've known it was showing up years before this. No, I really don't know. That's a lie. I do know now, but I didn't know.
You, Timus. I did not know. I did not know. I didn't see anything coming. This kid, I mean, nothing. So
okay, let me finish. I didn't know up until this happened in 21. I didn't know till 2024, 3 days after my mom died, and I was getting an ass chewing from him. And it was just like, to me, stupid things. To him, it was obviously big.
Mm-hmm.
And I said I was sorry. I said all the stuff that I was supposed to say. And I never said a but after my sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And last time I saw him after my mom, that was April, July. That's the last time I seen him. The only time I saw him is when I was divvying up the estate.
Oh, wow. And so I love what you just said, though, Thomas.
What?
When you said, so the way that he heard what you were saying, he took it a different way than what you were actually saying.
Here's the deal. I'm not going to say it that way because we were both, well, all of us were not in the emotional area to even have a conversation or make apologies because we just lost the matriarch of our family.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Right? So you were going to hear whatever you wanted to hear because emotions were high.
Correct. But that's what I'm saying. But still, even though you didn't say it that way, I still go back and I tell parents that all the time. Some of the things we say to our ECs, they take it a different way than what we meant for it to be. And I think that's a bit, because, from our generation, we were called dumb, stupid, ugly, and everything. And it was just parents.
Brought you into this world, I can take you out of this
Get
world.
your ass out. You ugly bitch. I mean, you know what I'm saying, y'all? We was hearing all that shit. You know what I'm saying? When we were coming up, it was nothing. But you can't say that. Coach, you know what I'm saying? You can't say that to somebody now and don't think they ain't going to get in their feelings. Because they are different. They are different.
And you know what? They're super sensitive.
They're sensitive.
Like he came over and this was a couple months ago, and maybe 3 months ago, and he had a meltdown. He walked out of the house and this and that. And so he had been looking for another job. He was frustrated. He got another job. So then he said, he goes, I got a job. He texted me, I got the job, Mom. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't calling me. I wasn't. So I sent a thumbs up. I said, I didn't want to say anything wrong. few weeks later, it was Christmas. He comes over. He had a meltdown at Christmas. My God, I got a job in 2 weeks. That's unheard of, the money I'm making. And I get a thumbs up. He goes to me, that hurt him. He said he didn't sleep for 4 days because I sent him a thumbs up.
That's a spoiled, entitled child right there.
What was I supposed to do? You weren't
That's
speaking
a spoiled,
to me.
entitled
Do you want
child
to listen?
right there.
I want to say something about something I witnessed last week at the nail salon, and I might have said it already. My brain's shot, but I was getting my nails done, and this mother and daughter, young girl. I mean, the daughter was like 6, 7, young mother, younger than us, and they paid. They left. They came back in literally 5 minutes later. And the lady said, my daughter does not like this. This is not the design you chose. And this needs to be fixed right now.
Oh, damn.
And I thought to myself, what are you teaching this kid? Nothing in life is ever going to be perfect.
100%.
You chose it. You walked out with it and you were happy with it at the time.
Yeah.
But he has a freak out at my house, and I'm supposed to go, Hercules, you got the job. No, I was pissed.
Yeah,
so I gave him a thumbs up, and he was so everything I do, he's so sensitive. Somebody else could do it, his next door neighbor, and he'd have no problem with it. But when I do it or his dad, it's like we're stabbing him in the heart. They're so sensitive. It's crazy.
That's an entitled child. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna catch up. Tracy Bird says, my mom just died on Easter. Tracy, I'm sad to hear that. Man, my condolences to you and your family. She said, my ED said she didn't go see her because she would tell her that she needed, I'm guessing needed something. But man, that's rough. Then Laura says yes, and we speak bluntly to them, and they are offended. 100%, Laura. You can't say what our parents said to us, Laura. You can't say that shit no more.
You cannot.
You can't do that. They so sensitive. Like Kirsten said, regardless, see, this is the issue we all have, Kirsten, like what you said. Regardless, Mark, we honored our parents. You know what I'm saying? We honored our parents. Our kids are super soft. Super, super soft. But, Mark, we created this monster. We did this. We made them soft.
We did. Good evening, everybody. First and foremost, let me say hello to everybody.
Hi, Coach.
First and foremost, our parents, man, we came with a whole vibe of we had to be tough as nails. We had to suck it up. When you did some dumb shit, your parents held you accountable.
Correct.
We don't hold these kids accountable. We just say, don't do that no more. Woo. It'll be okay. Next time, come to me. I'll fix it, et cetera, et cetera.
Correct.
We didn't get in their shit. Now, some of us, we did get in our kids' shit. And they was like, oh my God, he's yelling at me. Oh my God, he just said that to me. And they go run into their little friends and they play this little bitch mode. And I'm like, hell no.
Oh my God.
Oh, Coach.
I don't do that no more. And I was like, somebody said it earlier. I said it to my daughter. I said, I brought you in this world. I can take you out. I clearly said that to my daughter. I said, because all this around you, that's above your head, that's beneath your feet, and what's in your fucking hand, I gave it to you. I gave it to you. Ain't nobody else in this spot and around your circle and little friends did anything. These little kids can't even buy you a little snack at lunch.
100%.
And I ain't trying to hold weight on financial, but I'm the one that's getting up at 4 a.m. to go to work to provide for you, make sure you have all these things so you ain't getting clowned with the shoes on your feet. You got the latest iPhone, but I'm sorry. Why am I the one that's taking the blunt of, you can't say that to me, daddy? No, I just don't put up with your bullshit.
Yeah. You're 100% right, Coach. But and that's been the issue, I think, with dealing with this generation is, anytime you try to put them in place, they call it trauma. I was traumatized because Coach Mark said this about me. He said that about me. Coach Mark was trying to show you some love and trying to get you to be hardcore because you knew what the world was going to be like. You know what I'm saying?
The world's going to chew you up and spit you out.
Yeah.
And these kids.
Look, MF say they going to say we didn't ask to be born. MF, I can't stand that shit. I hate that. Them motherfuckers send me that shit DMs all the times. I see you on TikTok. You got to realize we didn't ask to be born. And I hit them with the infamous and they blocked me. I said, yes, you did. Your ass swim the fastest. I can't stand that shit. Yes, your ass did. You swim the damn fast. You the fastest swimmer.
You was first in line.
You Michael Phelps in that bitch. Backstroking to that motherfucker, Mark. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you did. You swim the fast.
Shit, I can't stand you.
Bro, I get that right there for MF, what she just said. I get about 10 of them a day. We didn't ask to be born. Our parents should be taking care of us until the end of time. I'm like, bullshit. Your ass swim the damn fast. Yes, you did. You wanted to be here.
You know, they have to understand the parents are tired. It's time for them to start doing something. We're getting tired.
I totally agree. No, you're 100% right. What's going on with you, Miss Lynn?
Hey, how everybody doing today?
We're doing good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing really good. You know, I was thinking as everybody was talking, you know, and I can't say that my mother and my grandmother raised me and they didn't never talk to me like that, you know. But you know, basically I think what it was they cared what I did and everything, but I was always so smart, you know, in school and everything. And so, you know, and I hung around, I mean, with the bad people. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But I was always so smart. And I think about what my son told me several weeks ago when he said, but you were so mean. You know, and I think I was mean to him because I was afraid. You know, I don't know. And I'm just going to say it. I had a black kid, you know, and I live in Wisconsin. You know what they say about Wisconsin? You come on vacation and you leave on probation. You know,
Wow.
and
Come on, Miss Lynn.
you know,
I ain't never heard of Miss Lynn. Damn, you done put me on it today, damn. Come on.
You know, I was afraid for my baby.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want, you know, and you gotta be smart. You gotta be twice as smart. You gotta be tough. So, you know, I never ever had to visit him into the jailhouse and, you know, the probation and all that. Now, don't misunderstand. He had got in some trouble and I hired the best attorney and he got off. You know, never to do that again because he wasn't that type of kid, you know. And now he's doing real good, but all he knows is how mean I was. But I was afraid. It wasn't that I was, you know, and I'm the type of parent, I go to the school like I used to tell my son when he was younger, I'm your mouthpiece. I don't need you in there saying nothing for me. All you got to do is come tell me. I used to go to my son's school. They see me out the window and they run. Can we help you? Can we help you? Because I done been to the school district and everything. Don't mess with mine.
Yeah, come on with it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't mess with mine.
Yeah.
You know. And
that's how we used to roll, Miss Lynn. That's how it was. Yeah.
You saw me coming. Like I used to ask my son, and I would never forget, I told him he must have been about the 4th, 5th grade. I said, and the teacher was messing with him, and it was so sad. And I said, how many black kids in your classroom? He said, 2, me and another boy. I said, well, she better start fucking with him. Because she can ready to leave. Because she can ready to leave you alone.
Miss Lynn, hold on, Miss Lynn. I gotta ask you a question though. Earlier this week, you know, we spoke, and you was telling me that that your son, one of your sons, had reached out, right?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. The younger son, I ain't got no problem with him. He love his mama. Matter of fact, he just left here, him and his fiance.
But Miss Lynn, I want you to tell the people, you know, what kind of emotions and what you went through during that time.
Well, you know, like I said before. You know, I don't have a problem. I can call my son right now and he'll answer the phone.
Correct.
He'll call me and I answer the phone, but it won't be real. It's so superficial. Well, when he called me the other day, I think it was yesterday, the day before, I can't remember. I just didn't feel like answering the phone. I was on the phone playing the game. And I just...
Hey, yo, Miss Lynn me and Miss Lynn was talking. She was like, shit, he just hit me up right now. I said, what you do, Miss Lynn? I ain't paying him no mind.
She playing Candy Crush.
Man, I ain't got time for superficial stuff. You know, I was busy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He'll call again because I'm tired of reaching out. Hold on, honey. Yes, baby. Okay, I'm sorry. That's my husband. Talk about
But
calm
Miss
down.
Lynn, like, what were you thinking, like, during that time? Was you was just basically like, I know he don't want nothing, or what do you want, or I just don't feel like going there with you?
You know what? Guess what? I just didn't feel like being bothered.
Mm,
You know, that's the honest to God truth. You know me, and I love him to death. That's my first. I love him. I love him. I would lay down my life for him. But you know what? When he traveled from Texas to Wisconsin, drove him and his family, and didn't stop by my house, man, that right there,
that did something to you.
that did something to me.
Yeah.
You know, because don't play with me. Because I tell anybody, anybody, I'm not the one to be played with.
Yeah.
And you know what? He should know that. Don't play
Yeah.
with me. You know,
Yeah.
you ain't gonna stop by my house. Why you didn't stop by my house, Alex? Why you didn't stop? You could have came to visit your mama. Why you do that, Alex? No, I ain't going now. You know what? I done that, been there, and got the t-shirt.
Mm.
And I'm not doing it no more.
And Miss Lynn, my thing is, you know, because a lot of parents struggle with that aspect of saying, I think what it is, Miss Lynn, we want to go back to when our children were young and say we want to continue to parent that same way, but they stopped living their lives. And now that that child has got, or the adult has gotten to that point to where, like what Jules was saying, man, they don't need you in that aspect. You know, what would you tell parents going forward how they need to move?
You know, I don't think that it's so much trying to reparent. I think what it is we still look at them like they need our advice. We so wise. If you don't ask, I'm not giving it. You know, that's me. And
That's
plus on
it.
top of that, I think too, what I did was when I was running and catering and doing everything I could. I'm sorry, I'm getting some ice.
Okay.
When and doing because I'm drinking my wine. But I think what it was I felt guilty because you know what? A lot of things I could have done differently. A lot of times I was impatient. A lot of times I yelled. A lot of times I did this, I did that, and I could have done it differently. But you know what? I didn't. And you know what? I told him before. You know, I know how you feel, but you know worse for the wear. You know, you got a college education, you got a good job, you got a family, you own a house, you know worse for the wear. So don't come and tell me that bull crap about how I was. Because however I was, you know worse for the wear.
And Aaron, I think the secret, Aaron, really, and it took me longer than my husband. My husband did it immediately. And this is the hardest thing to do, but I would tell all the parents out there, stop the chasing. Just stop it.
Absolutely.
And here's the thing. You know what I did to keep sometimes I'd be starting to cry in my house. You know what I do? I take my car keys. I drive down to a park and look at the water. I started taking my mind off of him every single minute of the day, imagining what he was doing, how I could reach out to him, how I could invite him over. I stopped myself. I just stopped it. And it was baby steps for me. My husband did it quicker than me. He said, my husband's every, he said, you know what? He don't want me. He knows where he can find me. That's it. I couldn't do that as a mother. So it took baby tiny steps. But once you get there, it is freeing. And like I said, he was good this week communicating, but I don't know if next week he's going to, be gone again, but I'm ready for it. I'll be okay.
See what it is, Jules. You're not sweating that no more.
No.
You're not sweating that no more. You like, hey, you know what? However you feel doesn't affect my life.
Exactly. You've got to stop chasing him. Yes.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. You like, however you feel don't accept my life. As parents, I think we get so caught up in being parents, we forget who we are.
Absolutely.
We got to move on. You got to stop.
I did my job, and we'll always be here for him study.
Correct.
And his safe place to fall, whatever.
Ooh,
but I'm not going to play these, that he's going to dangle a carrot and I'm going to go nuts and be like, oh yeah, great. And go on and on and on. We go on vacation in July. I told you up to California, and we have a home. And you know what? I have not asked him once. He has not asked me. I don't care. I didn't tell him where we were going, when we were going, the dates, nothing. He said he wasn't coming, and I'm holding him to that.
Hey, but hold on. I'm going to ask all y'all this question Laura just put on here. It's a good question, Laura. She said, but as parents, why is it okay to be discarded and then pick back up at their convenience. I'm gonna start with you, Miss Lynn.
Is it okay to be discarded?
No,
You know
she
what?
said, let me read it one more time. She said, but
Okay.
as parents, why is it okay to be discarded and then pick back up at their convenience?
You know what? I don't know why I played that game. I don't know why I let him do me like that. You know, this guy talked to me any kind of way, like I was some kind of. I don't even know the people on the street. I don't know why I let him do me like that.
Is it
You
because of the
know,
love, you think?
you know what? Because I felt, I think it was the guilt that I felt, and I loved you. And you know what? I think it was more that it's expected as a parent. I love you. This is my kid. You know, I'm not gonna turn my back on my kid, all that. But at the same time, I'm tolerating all this abuse, all this disrespect. You're talking to me any kind of way you want to. Got to the point where you let your wife talk to me any kind of way. I'm arguing on the phone with him and his wife. They just talking to me any kind of way. No, you ain't picking me up like I said, honey. I saw that phone call and I was busy. You know, you
Slide to the left.
I was playing my game. You know what? I was playing spades. I ain't gonna lie. And I could not and we was winning.
You with it?
And
Oh, Lynn, come on, Lynn.
so you know how you push that? I didn't hang up on them. You know, I just let it ring and ring until finally it went off, and I resumed my card game because now I'm not being discarded. You know what? I'd rather for you to leave me alone.
Yep.
And let me tell you what, I'd rather for you to leave me alone. If that's the way you feel about, because see, I'm a person of loyalty. I'm going to go to bat for you. I'm going to stand with you. Even when you wrong, I'm going to stand with you. And then when ain't nobody around, I'm going to tell you, you know, it was kind of fucked up, don't you? But while we doing it, while we together, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to stand with you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
And
with
if
you,
I
man.
can't get that, you know what? If you can sit there and let your wife talk to me any kind of way, and I'm your mama, but you all up in her family face, smiling and carrying on, you know, but you ain't even got enough sense to tell that battle axe that she need to respect your mama.
Wow.
No, you ain't discard me, honey. I discard you first.
Woo.
Uncle Mark, hold on, bro.
Man, she said it all for me for real. She said it all. So I ain't got too much to compete with that. But
Mark,
I agree.
man, but I think
if
that
I
was a great.
stood 10 toes down with you as your dad, she's speaking from a mother's perspective. I'm gonna speak from a dad's perspective.
Right.
I stood 10 toes down for you, held you down.
Mm-hmm.
Most dads out there ain't keeping the roof over your head.
No.
Ain't barely paying child support.
Yeah. 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we done touched on this, me and you.
Yeah.
We were men sitting in a hair salon with you
Come on.
getting your hair done.
100%.
How many men you know gonna do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You hit it on the nail.
I got to a point. You didn't discard me. You chose that life. So I need you to understand how it's gonna move for you in that lifestyle now.
Hold on, but hold on, Coach. I'm gonna ask you a question because it was supposed to be the topic today. So a baby girl called you right now. What would your response? What would the first sentence out your mouth be?
You okay?
Okay.
You okay?
And then what would you say as the call went on? Would you be open to have a conversation?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm ready to have. I've been ready to have that conversation.
Okay.
The day that she left, I needed to have that conversation then, because you needed to explain to me how you came to the decision, why you came to the decision, and why you chose to do it the way that you did it.
Okay.
When I'm the person that stood shoulder to shoulder with you through the rough times, through the good times, was celebrating everything that you achieved from the day you started pre-K to the day you walked across that high school stage.
Okay. So you ain't the type of parent, Coach, because you know a lot of parents on that question that I asked on TikTok, someone was so frustrated with their estranged child that they was just like, bro, I don't want to talk.
I have to look at each and every person's individual situation.
Correct.
Speaking of my situation, I know it's directed. The anger is directed at the mother.
Correct. Well,
Okay.
hold on, Coach. Hold on. Laura just said, I want to read this to you right there. She said, but are we supposed to be available when they reach out?
Leave the door open.
Yes.
Leave the door
Yes.
open. Don't, like they said before,
Yep.
don't go chasing. Leave the door open. You know
But
my
Aaron,
address, you
Aaron,
know my
said-
number, you know my email, you got all my social medias, so you know how to get in contact with me. When you ready to have that conversation, you know how to find me.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. We got some questions down here that I just get into. So Hitman says respect is established in the early years, and I want y'all to let him know. Jules, I'm gonna start with you on that.
Okay, it is. And guess what? My son was the most respectful kid you would have ever met throughout his career in high school. And no, it's not okay to be discarded. But here we are. Okay. So no, it wasn't okay for me to be discarded. But here we are. It happened anyway. And so we have to deal with that because we're in that situation to be. It's not okay. And the thing is, I forgive, but I don't forget. Like we are talking right now, but I'm not fool enough to think that he may discard me again. But I'm not prepared to shut that all down. And and here's another thing. Don't demand an explanation for them of why they did what they did you. Because you know what? Sometimes they don't even know why they did it. Why. It's a frustration with themselves. So if they want to put that in a suitcase and lock it and put in the closet, let it be.
I totally agree with you on that. But hold on, y'all. But what I think Hitman is saying, he's saying like if you do, and I could be wrong, Hitman. If you want to come up and discuss this, you're more than welcome. I'm taking it as he's saying if you do your job in the early years, you ain't got to worry about dealing with this bullshit later on in life, which I disagree with.
I disagree too.
I disagree with that part. And I could be wrong, Hitman. So like I said, if you want to come up and discuss it, you're more than welcome.
I know Coach had a wonderful athletic daughter. I had a wonderful athletic son. Excelled in school, excelled in athletic ability and everything. My son did this after college, 23 years old. He was not a baby. So,
correct.
No.
Hey, Hitman, what's going on? Welcome to the live, and thank you for coming up, man. I appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
So, what you were saying, my brother?
So, right now, my oldest is 15. So, take my experience with a grain of salt, if you want.
Okay.
And, I'm going to say, the point I was making, not necessarily saying if you do your job early on, I'm saying, because if I'm honest, I know I did a bunch of stuff wrong.
Okay.
But I also put in the work to try and establish relationship. The point I was making was if you have a tight relationship, like if your relationship with your kid is like, if it's healthy in the younger years, and as they grow, as they, go through school, as they gain new friends, these friendships that they gain in school is also going to influence them. And if you're not careful, some of these other influences will take priority for them.
That part.
Correct. You're 100% right, man.
That part. Because, and not to cut him off, I'm going to let him speak on. That's the problem I faced is what I always preach to my daughter is know who your friends are.
Correct.
Because there's a lot of friends, they smile and kiki in your face, but they give you all the wrong information and try to get you to make all the wrong moves.
Right.
And that's what my daughter did.
Coach, and I agree with you on that, but my only issue with that is, Hitman, my only issue with that, you said you got a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
As parents, how can we control that?
So for me, in my strategy that I've been developing is to make sure that they are equipped to hold themselves accountable. I practice accountability in different areas, whether it's, making your own food or, getting yourself dressed, and I'll give them a task and expect them to do it. And if they don't, I expect them to create their own punishment. So accountability is a sweeping statement at home for us. So, and just like accountability for them, I also allow them to hold me accountable to what I say. So if I'm doing something wrong and I make a promise, like I'm gonna take you here, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna buy you something. When I drop the ball, they are able to ask me about it and question me. And, I also expect, if you're going to question me, also understand that, I am your parent. And if you come to me sideways, I can come to you sideways. But if you come to me with respect, we can talk. We can talk. You can tell me that I'm foul. You got to figure out a way to say it in a creative way with respect.
Hey, let me tell you something real quick, man. I love what Lady Bus Driver just said right here, because I truly believe it. She said, that's fine while they're young. Wait till they are grown and they flip the script. And I think, Hitman, for us parents on this live right now, this is what we dealing with. So we dealing with, and I can't speak for everybody on here. Let me say this, Hitman. Kudos to you for saying what you said. I love somebody who can be transparent and say, hey, man, I made mistakes. Because I made mistakes.
No, I was with him. I was with him on the part when he was about accountability.
Accountability.
I held my daughter to the point of accountability. But when I was wrong and I made the mistakes, which everybody here has done it, I looked my daughter in the eyes and said, I apologize. I apologize.
100%. But like I'm saying though, Mark, the thing to me is what I think a lot of us parents are dealing with, right? So we all agree, every parent, there's no perfect parent. Everybody makes their mistakes. But I think you have parents here who have put into their children, who have done the things that they thought that were right and correct. And for some odd reason, as our children become adults, they change the story. The story all of a sudden changes, and they paint us parents as villains because they're unhappy with certain situations in their life and certain decisions in their life that they've made. They come back and they paint us parents as villains because I told Mark if he don't go to school, he gonna be putting the fries in the bag, bro. And he didn't listen to me on that aspect. And he said, you know what? I'm gonna do it my way. And I think that's where a lot of us parents are at, Hitman, right now, what we dealing with. But I love what you said. I think parents can take what you said and put it into their household, especially parents with younger children. But when your children become young adults, it's a different ballgame.
I hear what you're saying. Yes, mine is not. He's still in high school, which is what it is. But at the same time, the way he's navigating life is he's picking his friends based off of how they move, separate from when they not at home, when they not in front of their parents, like what you doing. And he's holding himself accountable to like making sure life is on the up and up. And I'm not saying all of it is me, because a lot of this is God's making sure that he watch over his, like, these kids is just on lease to me. And I'm not saying that I unlock some kind of master parenting method. Like
but look, bro, what you said was so I appreciate you what you said, because it was real to me. I never thought about it on that aspect, to be honest with you. So thank you for saying that, because I thought that was real. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna show them that I'm gonna be accountable for my actions, and I want them to do the same. That's great. Hitman, one of my biggest issues, and one of the issues I had raising my children and things that I did wrong, was I tried to be my friend, my children's friend. Right. You know what I'm saying? That was my fault. And I was a helicopter parent. I always wanted to fix shit.
Yeah, that was me. The helicopter parent. That was me.
So I went the opposite role first. I told him I only want excellence. And anytime he stepped out of place, he got either whooped on the spot, or I laughed at parents who did the timeout stuff. But I used
you
it
was timing out
strategically.
2 piece.
Oh no, timeout as in like, oh, you're in timeout, no talking, all this other type of stuff. But I found the strategy on how to do that correctly.
Yeah.
And I even used timeout. Like, he got punished in church, in the Lord's house. I punished him. Like, I'm like, spare the whip. No, not over here. And I got to a point of where that boy was like 7 years old. He was completely convinced that I did not like him.
Hey, man, say, man, look, man, thank you for coming up and telling your story tonight, man. I appreciate you being vulnerable and telling your story. We need more people like you to tell your story because you're helping somebody. So thank you, man, for coming up tonight.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like
And
what
he may
Hitman.
never experience this. So good luck. I hope you never go through this. You may have a beautiful relationship with your children, your whole life. And I pray that for you.
Exactly.
Man,
What
and
you
I
say, Lynn?
appreciate that, because that sounds heartbreaking.
No, it is. What you say, Lynn?
No, I think I really like what Hitman said.
I do too.
Respect starts when they're young, and you sound like a great dad to me.
You
It
do.
was unfortunate for me that I had a weak ass ex-husband because where my kids, and even with my oldest kids, when I finally married his father, he was a little older, and now I guess he was trying to do a lot of making up. So he made it, that I was the bad guy when I got ready to discipline. And I know, even with my younger son, the one I have a wonderful relationship for, he used to sit around my husband and tremble and shake because I told him, as soon as he leave, I'm beating your ass. You know what I mean? 'Cause, because respect is everything. And you know what? If you got a man that don't know how to hold those kids accountable and have them to respect their moms. Two, some men can, and like you said, can be the friend. I used to tell my ex-husband all the time, these kids ain't your fucking friends. You know what I'm saying? These your kids.
Like your kid.
They're not your friends, and you doing this and doing that, and they can do this and mama, I was a disciplined person. I don't think my ex-husband ever whipped those kids, but I beat the hell out of them.
Hold on, Miss Lynn. So now it makes sense. So that's why your son put you in that category. That's when he was saying that you was, he considered you to be like, mama, you was always, mean to me, this and that. You had no choice. You had to be that person.
I didn't have nobody else to do it for me. And it had got to the point with my oldest boy, when he stood up for me, I put his ass out. You got me fucked up. You think I'm getting ready to fight a kid?
Exactly.
My youngest son stood up. I beat him so bad he ran, fell at the door. I started to stump him, but then I remembered he was my kid, and he said, "Mama, why you do that? Why you hit me like that?" I said, "Why you stand up to me? Because I'm yelling." He said, "I was just going to get some Kool-Aid." I said, "Well, when I'm talking and I'm arguing, you don't stand up. You stand up like that. I'm thinking that you getting ready to stand up to do something." I didn't know he was just going to get some Kool-Aid.
And I love what Laura said. She said now he wants to call it trauma and don't speak to her because you were trying to be, you were trying to discipline.
Yes, I had no other choice because I didn't have a man to do it. I had 3 boys in the house, 2 sons and a husband.
Oh, damn. Wow. Hey, Miss Lynn, think about it. If you don't discipline them that way, right, what the streets gonna do to them?
Didn't I tell you that's what I was afraid of?
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't want to have to visit him at the graveyard or in the prison.
Yeah. And it's crazy to me how our children take discipline as trauma. They take you being hardcore because you don't want to see them in the street. Now check this out, Lynn. What you did, the discipline, where's that young man at in life right now?
Man, right now he works for Child Swap.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Right now, he's working for Child Swap
Come on.
in a whole new state with bought a house, wife, got it going on. You know what I'm saying? Got it going on. But I'm the bad guy. I'm the one who told you if I have to tell you this word one more time, I'm gonna knock you out. Because I done told you this same word while we doing your homework 5 times.
That's what I'm saying, though, Miss Lynn. Hey, and like Jules said, rewriting the past to fit their perceived trauma.
Yes,
But
yes.
you must know that is not true. 100%. But
Yeah.
no,
They'll get you believing that it is true, but you have to stand in your own self, which I did not do, and I decided to say it is not true. This scenario that he's telling me, but if he wants to believe, it's okay. But I'm standing in who I am, and I know.
you know.
And you don't have to tell him that, but you have to know it's not true, and be yourself.
100%.
One thing I gotta head out.
Go ahead.
But one thing I'm gonna say on the way out is I remember what life was for me growing up as a child. And in my family, we didn't have much of children didn't really have much of a voice, seen, not heard, or whatever. Now for my kids, I make sure that they have a voice so that they know their identity. One of the side effects of the seen and not heard is they stop talking. They stop letting you in on what their perception is. So as a parent, until I hear from them, I don't know what their experience is. I can assume what their experience is because I'm trying to do the best that I can. But until they tell me, yeah, that's good, no, I didn't like that, I won't know.
That's true. That's a fact. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
No, hey, man, I appreciate you tonight, my brother. Thank you so much for hopping in and coming on the live.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, you have a good one, man.
All right, you too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I appreciated that, but the last point is, being seen, not heard. That wasn't the case with my son at all. Matter of fact, we probably were the ones not seen and not heard. I let him kind of rule the house, and that was wrong. I mean, he said everything he wanted to say. We were the ones that were kind of seen but not heard.
Well, I'm gonna ask Coach this though, Coach. So when he said not, about the whole not seen and not heard, I'm gonna ask you a question, Coach. Did your mama give you a voice in your house? In her house?
She did, but don't think that, what my mother said was law. Let's just be honest.
Correct.
I had rules in that house. My mother, all 5'4", she said, you can go do this, you can't do that. I need you to do this, and I'm gonna need you to do that, because it was just me and her. So I had to do my homework. I had to go play basketball. I still had to clean my room. I had to help clean up the house. She would prepare the dinner. I had to start it in the oven because by the time she got home dealing with all the traffic, it was late. You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's what I'm trying to figure out, because like Kirsten just said, no voice, do as they say, period. That's kind of how I was brought up. I was brought up as you got a voice. Is your name on that light bill?
Yep.
Is your name on that phone bill?
Yep.
That's how I was brought up, Mark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was too. I was allowed to be a kid, but I had to move within the rules that were set forth, for me. And that's kind of what I instilled in this household, because if my mother didn't do those rules, the amount of trouble I could have got into in DC, I promise you, I wouldn't be on this live having this conversation with you.
That's what I'm saying, Coach. I didn't have no voice. Lynn, did you have a voice growing up?
I did.
You had a voice.
I did. I you know what? But I think more so I had a voice because my mother grew up kind of traumatized by her brothers and sisters.
Okay.
And so I was able to express my opinion. They would say, "Oh, Cookie got such a smart mouth," and my mama used to tell them, "Then you ought to leave her alone," because the way she had grew up, So yeah, I had a voice. Did my son have a voice? Of course. And the thing of it is, and I don't want to blame that wife. Lord knows that I don't. But he used to come and visit me before he met her, and We'll be sitting at the table and he'll talk to me. We'll talk about practically anything. His phone will ring and he'll say, you know what? I'm going to have to call you back. I'm talking to my mama. But, and I even told him how to get the girl. She told him that she just want to be friends. He said, Mama, what should I do? I said, do you really like her? He said, yeah. I said, well, be your friend then. I said, if she call you, don't answer. You don't answer the call every time a friend call. If you got something to do, go do it. She just a friend. Be a friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 100%. So, he used to can come to me about everything, but now, he want to talk to me crazy. And so, what, I just, did he have a voice when he was growing up? Yeah, he did. Yeah. But not to my mama.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like I say, growing up, I could talk to my parents, right? I had great parents, but it's like, could I say, hey, I'm not going to do this?
Oh, no.
No. That wouldn't happen. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't happening.
I didn't get that voice until I was in pretty much college.
Yeah. And I'm going to be real with you. I remember, man, when my mama found out I was, doing the nasty. So she came to me, she said, man, you doing something right? I said, you know what I'm saying? I was nervous. I was like, yeah. She threw a brown bag. Y'all remember that brown bag of them free things you used to get from the clinic?
I did my son the same way.
Listen, you better be using these. The classic goes for me. My mother she quote unquote, she stumbled on them going through my drawer to find a shirt size because my aunt wanted to know what size I wore in the shirt. So I think my mother was in my room being nosy. Called my grandmother, and my grandmother, she's like, oh, your grandson, he doing the blah, blah, blah. And my grandma was like, so? What do you mean? Your grandson's da, da, da. She said, okay, first and foremost, he's doing his thing. Okay. Is he using them? She said, well, I hope so. She said, then leave him alone.
Leave him alone. 100%.
She said, and she said, what do you mean? What do you mean leave him alone? She said, do you want him using them with them or without them?
Without them. Coach, I'm going to tell you something. My mama told me, and this is how we grew up in different generations. Parents were different. My mama told me, she was like, look here, player. We deal with females in this household. Ain't none of that old, y'all know what I'm saying? She was like, we don't roll that right. It was like straight up. It wasn't no, look, we buy women up in here. It was no, hey, they wasn't playing with you. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't.
But like I said, my grandmother kind of shut my mother down, and she said, you want him doing it with them or without him? And she said, well, he better be used. She said, then leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
Said, he being smart about it. He got them things.
Yeah. But Mark, they want to
and here's the caveat. Her boyfriend at the time or whatever that she was messing with, he the one that gave me my first box. So your boyfriend knew what was going on. I had a conversation with him. He knew what was going on. I had a conversation with him. He the one came in one day, bought me the little brown bags in here. Put these away. And he said, you better use them.
My mama told me that. She threw them on the bed. I had a water bed. She threw them on the water bed. She said, you better be using these too.
I didn't get it till like my freshman year of college, but I had the whole black lacquer set with the mirror on the headboard.
Oh yeah.
I had that. I was player.
I didn't even know if my son was having sex or not. But
you didn't?
No, I didn't know. But I still gave him those condoms. Condoms. I was at that time. I was working for the AIDS Project, and you can get as many as you want. And I would, get them, and I would take them home, and I just throw them on this bed. Maybe I bought him some clothes. I throw the clothes and the condoms on there. I don't know if he was getting. I don't know what he was doing, but I do know this. He didn't make me a grandmother until he was 28.
Oh wow, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good, man. But no, it's like I say, man. The times have changed. It's a lot different than when we were growing up, and I think as parents we gotta adjust. Like we have no choice but to adjust and switch it up a little bit, and they gotta. But same token, they gotta adjust, right? Like they got to understand that some things your parents are not going to go for. It's just it is what it is. Like some of the things that they want to do and get by with, disrespecting their parents, talking to the parents crazy. And let me say this, like Miss Lynn say, man, don't you ever let your spouse talk to your parents disrespectful. That's a hell to me.
I don't get that, man.
You
the talk
never do
disrespectful
that.
to let somebody talk disrespectful to the mom, the person
Come
that brought
on,
you
man.
in this world. That baffles me.
That baffles me.
That baffles me.
You should never let any. Marie says, but shouldn't that work both ways? Marie, listen, I'm gonna tell you something straight up. I'm gonna be honest with you. And my mother-in-law asked me last week. She was saying if I had a disagreement about her or with her, would I talk to her reckless? I said, man, ain't no damn way in the world. There's no way in the world I'm gonna disrespect my wife's mother. I got too much love for my wife. If I got an issue with her mother, I'm talking to my wife about that issue, and then it's done. And vice versa. Should nobody, no matter how disrespectful that mother is towards you, just walk away. It's always respect your elders. We have to respect our elders, man. I'm not gonna disrespect I ain't gonna disrespect my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. I'm just gonna be like, look here, man, I ain't got nothing good to say to you. I'm out. And I'm gonna go when I get home, talk to my wife and be like, say, hey, look here, man, your mom was talking reckless. I ain't appreciate it. I'm gonna let you deal with her. Cause that ain't got nothing to do with me. That's how we were brought up, though.
Mm-hmm.
We had the utmost respect for our elders. Like it was a different level of respect. We ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like
even just to let the matter cool down, I would, I would step away from it. I would, when I was with my ex, say, hey, yo, you, like I had issues with her, always with one of her sisters.
Correct.
And her sister would just jump out her mouth. And I would walk away and she'd be like, you okay? I said, man, it's your sister again. You know how this goes. She said, Mark, I told you. I said, but that she need to tighten up. Because I could really jump out my mouth and really say some shit, but I know better.
Correct.
I was raised better.
Correct. And on the cool, man, because I think Mark is just a respect level, right? Like let's keep it funky tonight, y'all. If somebody disrespect my mother, we gotta throw hands.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but Aaron,
I'm not even gonna let it get to that level. I'm not even gonna let it get to that level. We gotta throw hands because I'm gonna shut it down before we even get there.
But see, Aaron, how do you pattern that for your kids? Like, my husband had a dad and a stepmother that was mean as a snake.
Uh-huh.
And I never said a bad word. My son saw that. He saw the respect we had for my parents and my husband's parents. How come they don't pattern that?
I don't know. You're 100% right on that, too, because I'm going to be real with you. My mama named Ann. If someone come at Ann sideways, we got to throw hands. Like, straight up. It's just, I have to, like, listen, me and my mama can be, we can talk reckless to each other. That's me and my mother. Right. Somebody else disrespect my mama, you got to see me. Yeah. You got to see me.
Me and my mother always, our conversations were, I was loving, being sons, we were kidding and joking. If we got serious, we got firm with each other. Ma, I gotta go. I'll talk to you later.
Come on.
But I promise you, if somebody says something sideways to my mother, we ain't gonna throw no hands. I'm gonna be looking you dead in your eyes and say, you seriously want to do this conversation?
Come on.
And I promise you, at that point, my eyes and my tone's gonna tell you, you need to stop here before you lose your life.
Coach, let me ask you a question. Did your ex get along with your mother?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. Because my ex is Jamaican, so over there in that household, a bunch of Jamaicans, they just blurt the shit out.
Oh.
And they bring it. It's sweet family. Don't get me wrong. It's a very sweet family, but when that switch gets turned on, it's duck for cover over there.
Yeah.
When she had a conversation with my mother, my mother would say, don't let this happen, don't do this, and she's like, well, I'm his wife. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I could see that volume was starting to get turned up, and I'd be like, hold up, give me the phone.
Yeah.
Let me step in right here before y'all get out your damn minds.
What about you, Lynn?
Me and my mother-in-law, my ex-mother-in-law, because my current husband, his mother is dead, but and so is mine. But my ex mother in law, I had been knowing my ex mother in law since I've been 11, and so there has been times I wanted to tell her, and I'm pretty sure she wanted to tell me, but it never gotten to that point. I just spoke to her last week, I believe. She just got out the hospital. She had a stroke. Even today I speaks to her. I broke my leg. She came and visited me in the hospital.
Good.
But I remember when my mother, when she was alive, she was dating this guy and they had got into it, and he had called me. He said, it's two sides to every story. And I told him, I don't know what you're calling me for, because it's only one side as far as I'm concerned, and that's my mama side. You know what I mean? I mean, what you calling me? The kind of way, I don't want to hear that. It's what my mama said.
But let me ask you something. I'm gonna ask y'all all something tonight, man. Why do y'all think our generation puts so much respect on our elders and our mothers and our fathers? Like, the respect we have for them is on another level. Why do y'all think that is?
Oh,
I can't explain it, but
I don't get it.
Because I saw my parents do that for their parents, and I just continued that, because no matter what they did to me, I would love them. And stand up for them to anybody. And they were great parents, but they made mistakes. My dad he had 2 restaurants. They worked night and day, and we had to work in the restaurants. And that was it. But, it was just like when they were gone, I was like, we were destroyed. I mean, that's the way we saw how they were with their parents. And I don't see that this generation, that respect is gone. Like, I don't understand why, no matter what they're saying to you, grandma, grandpa, you just keep your mouth shut and you listen, and you can go home and say, I don't agree with that. But the respect, they just don't. And I know we have patterned that. Some of us have patterned that for them to see it. They grew up just like we did and saw it, but they didn't take it on.
So I guess what you're saying, Jules, is kind of like what Mindy just said. She said, I watch my parents respect their parents. But still, though, like Mindy, so for like us, right? We respected our mother and father, but for some odd reason, our children feel like they can talk to you like you're somebody on the street.
Yes.
Like, what changed? Like,
I don't know. I remember the stories from my uncle and my mother. They feared my grandfather if they did some dumb shit, because that was the era where they had to go out and break off a switch off the tree and bring it in, and they got handled. Okay, I got handled with a belt, but when I looked at my grandparents, nobody could touch my grandparents. Don't you even think about jumping outside. I go to prison for that.
Yeah.
When it came to my mother, because when my parents divorced, my mom was the one that was holding me down. She took care of me. She made sure I had everything I needed. My dad, he went MIA and started being a Rolling Stone in the street. He was doing his thing. So I protected those who protected me. Me and my dad, obviously, it got to a point, I knew he was still my dad. I still wanted to have a relation. But when me and him, when I was at that 13 and unimpressible, going from the country to the city, and my dad tried to step to me like I was one of them kids on the corner, I looked at him and said, "Nah, you met the wrong one, bro.
Yeah,
this ain't it.
Respect was gone.
This ain't it no more."
Yeah,
and that's when me and him fell off. But when it came to my mom, my grandparents, man, go ahead and try me. Go ahead and try me.
And that's what I'm saying. And Lynn, what you think? What's the difference is, Lynn?
You know what? I really don't know. These kids today, I'm telling you, they have no respect for nobody. Teachers, the man at the store. I remember my mother, I must have been about 17, and my mother jumped on me. I can't remember what I did. It wasn't no belt. I know that she wasn't getting ready to pull out no belt, so she jumped on me. You know what I mean? And I didn't fight her back. The only thing I did was I was trying to hold her to keep her from hurting me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting ready to fight my mama.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ain't nowhere in the world. I mean, I could have, and I ain't gonna even tell no lie. I know I would have won that fight. But you know what I'm saying?
Man, you're the two-piece of Lynn.
I'm not fighting my mama.
Lynn, you're the two-piece of Lynn.
Yeah, I would
I
have got
told you, man.
I would have got Lynn
My
that
mother
day.
got tactical
I
with
would have
it,
got
man.
Lynn. And my grandmama would say, leave her alone, Lynn. Get out my house. It happened at my grandmama house.
Oh, wow. Wow.
She was telling my mama to leave. My mama done tore. I had this sweater that my boyfriend at the time had bought me. It was a night. My mama ripped that shirt to shreds. She knew he gave me that shirt. But nonetheless, I never ever stood up to my mama to go toe to toe with her. Never ever would I ever have done nothing like that.
Nah.
Like I said, my oldest son stood up to me. And I got a younger kid here too.
Yeah.
I put him out. You got me messed
my
up.
daughter, my daughter squared up to me one time, and when she did that one time, I snatched that phone and squared up and looked her in the eyes. I said, "Try me." I said, "You'll be the most breathless child standing right about now."
Yeah.
Next thing I know, all I saw was her standing there leaking. She was crying.
Yeah. Hey, already. Hey, look. EPC says I believe kids today lack empathy, and that is sad. That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is very true. 100%. 100%.
Yes.
Like,
You can tell them Aunt so and so's in the hospital. She just had surgery. They won't pick up the phone.
They don't give a damn.
And I used to call for my aunt, my uncle, my sibling, anybody in the hospital. Man, we were there, and
trust me. I went through that when I went through my whole prostate cancer. Told my daughter everything I was doing, this and this and that. Did she ever once to say, "Daddy, you okay? Dad, what's going on? Whatever." Nope.
But coach, you know what,
that
coach?
whole journey I dealt with by myself, but yet I still held her down to get through her prom, her graduation, everything else, and it ended the way it did. And it's like on the heels of me dealing with this prostate cancer, not knowing if I'm gonna live or not, freaking out about that shit. And yet I'm still trying to make sure that you get off to college and do your thing.
Yeah.
But coach, I want to thank you because you taught me something too. You taught me that when I was begging and chasing, you taught me they don't hold all the cards. And I was thinking, oh, I have to give him this and that. I'm going to give him what he deserves and what he earns from now until we die. I don't need to give him everything, my money, and you taught me that they can go on the way they are, but there will be repercussions. Yes. And so I'm not going to grovel anymore.
No, and I'm at the point now for my daughter. It's you chose this path. You said I'm 18 now. I can do what I want. Okay, welcome to adulthood. Okay, at the end of the day, you don't need me because I know when I moved out my mother's house, my mother didn't give me nothing. She never she would call, check on me or whatever. I could still go to her house on Sunday, get a hot meal, but her paying my bills, fixing my car, making sure I got up to go to work, go to school, go to basketball practice. That wasn't her problem. That was not her problem. She never said shit to me.
Yeah. I'll tell you like this though, Coach, to hear what Jules is at today compared to the Jules we had.
I remember. I saw
months ago. That Jules was frustrating. But she said, listen, y'all know I be drinking. Jules had me drinking even more.
She needed a good
Aaron, I would have done anything my son told me. I was that desperate. I was that guilty. I was that convinced that I was a horrible mother. And I couldn't live like that no more. So hearing you tell me you're a little obsessed with your son, get your life together. You got a good husband, stand next to him.
Absolutely.
And a coach saying, I'm going to spend all my money. She can have the damn house if she wants, but I'm spending it. That resonated with me.
Yeah, right.
And I said, you know what? He doesn't hold all the cards and I'm some slave. It isn't like that.
Nope. I promise you the house will be hers. She can do what she want with it. I can't take it with me. You can Airbnb it. You can burn it down. Or you can sell it. I don't give a shit. But I promise you my 401k, that I'm the one invested that first dollar in. And where it sits today, I'm going to spend it like I lost my damn mind.
Well, and I have some good jewelry. And he said to me, oh, Mom, you know, your marriage ring is so beautiful. And this one and your gold. hey, I have gold from my parents from Italy. I got nieces. I got nieces too. It doesn't have to go to him.
No.
Nope.
It's gonna be.
And that's what I'm telling y'all for the ones who are on this live for the first time tonight, man. If y'all would have seen or heard from Jules 2-3 months ago, you would have been like, Lord have mercy. Because
I felt
Jules
bad for the
was,
husband. I was like, yo,
oh man, look, and y'all, Jules got a fantastic husband.
Oh God.
And I remember I told her, I said, Jules, and don't take this the wrong way. Y'all know I keep it real with y'all. Don't let that son fuck up your marriage.
Right.
I would have left me if I was my husband.
Look, Coach, I was like, shit, I'd be gone.
No,
I'd be like,
she got a good man. And
exactly.
You need to go ahead and take that man to Vegas and.
Oh no, in May we're going to Monterey, California. I got an Airbnb right on the ocean.
There you go.
6 days, we're out of here. And you know what he said to me? When are you going to Monterey? I said, sometime in May. What's the date? I said, I don't know. Who cares?
Who cares? Don't worry. And that's what I'm saying.
Just get there, cut the phones off, shut the door, pop the bottle of wine, and enjoy yourself.
If y'all would have heard Jules from her situation, man, what she was dealing with, today, like she coming up here and talking tonight, this is a different person.
Yeah, I sure do. Yeah.
And Coach, you can hear it in her.
Yeah.
Right?
She sounds way more confident.
Yeah,
way more confident.
I was destroyed because that was the least thing I expected. I was so blindsided, but you can work your way out of anything. You just have to keep the faith, keep the door open, but don't be treated like a doormat.
Nope. You did your part. You did your part. You ain't supposed to chase her or your son or whatever. Just position yourself better. Start to look at the husband and say, hey, we need to make sure this is straight. By the way, book that flight. We out of here.
Yep.
Hey, hold on. Hey, like Lynn, me and Lynn was talking about this before. You don't allow your adult children to manipulate your marriage. Like me and Lynn spoke about that beforehand. And Lynn, you can talk about it now. One thing you don't do not let your adult children destroy your marriage. Ain't that right, Lynn?
Yep. That's 100% correct. You sure don't. Because I ain't giving mine up. And these kids, they grown. They got their own lives. They living their lives. They ain't coming in here fucking up mine.
Come on.
I'm staying right here. I'm staying right here. Me and my husband we always say, I ain't going nowhere.
Nowhere. And listen, and I say this time and time again, if you got a good partner, appreciate that. Yes. There ain't too many good people out there.
No, sure ain't.
The way I was going, I would have been left with no son, no husband, all alone.
Alone.
And that would have been double whammy. So I was like, I got to hang on to the person that treated me right, who never disrespected me like my son. He is first now.
Come on.
He should have been first all along, but sometimes we gotta learn. Sometimes we gotta learn.
I live and learned. You got that right.
Learn. Hey, put your spouse first, man. Understand that these children, as they get older, they gonna leave the nest. They gonna start their own. So make sure your relationship is intact, because if not, you gonna find yourself lonely. You're going to find yourself lonely, and you're going to be wondering what happened. You got to, hey, listen, I say this all the time. You and your spouse have to be one. Y'all got to be united. Y'all need to get to that point to where you understand, like if your spouse telling you, hey, that's my son, I love him, but right now he trash. You got to listen to that. Don't try to take up for him. Understand your husband is telling you the truth. He's seeing a different side that you don't want to see.
I used to get offended because my husband said he's acting like an asshole. And I used to get so upset. Don't call him an asshole. Yeah. He's their son. He said, that's what he is right now. He said, and I'm calling him out like a man.
Yeah.
He should. Yeah. Because at the end, like I said, at the end of the day, you got to let them learn to live and sit in their own shit. You warned them. You told them, don't do this, don't that, because here's what's going to happen. They don't want to listen. Okay, well, guess what? I'm going to go sit over here. When that goes down, come back and see me.
Yes. Y'all know what I love about our guests on the live? Everybody got their saying. I love when Coach Mark say they got to sit in their own shit.
I'm serious. I'm dead ass. Because I did it. You did it. Man. Everybody on this panel has made their mistake.
Yep.
Did something wrong that your parent told you good and well. Don't do that. And what we do? Well, you don't know what you're talking about. And guess what? We turn around. Man, I should have listened to my mom. I should have listened to such and such.
That's what I'm saying, man. Go ahead, Miss Lynn.
When my husband had to pick me up off the floor. Once that son of mine drove all the way to Wisconsin and didn't come to my house, he said, I hope you learned your lesson.
Yep.
Because the thing of it is every time my son called or I called him, I'm always trying to make it up. But when my husband had to pick me up and he said, I hope you learned your lesson, I wanted to tell him, these ain't your kids. But you know what? I kept my mouth shut because he was 100% right. You know, he never tried to get in between and say, oh, you wrong, let him be a man. He never did none of those things. But he'll say, there you go again. There you go again. But when he had to pick me up, he said, I hope you learned your lesson.
I used to walk around mourning like my son was dead. And my husband started working later and later and working on Saturday. And I mean, this was all things that could have just brought our marriage down the drain. And finally I woke up and I said, you know, I refuse to lose this person. There's no way.
So, Jules, did you feel like you were on the verge of losing your husband in your marriage?
I could see that we were distance. We were getting distance. You know, we were getting there was distance between us. It's like if I wasn't talking about him, I couldn't talk about anything else. And my husband didn't want to talk about it. He just said, he's an asshole right now and I don't want to talk about it. So we'd sit there together in silence. It was bad. Yeah. It was bad. Now, last weekend, I called him up at his work and I said, hey, we want to do a staycation at the JW Marriott. Man, he came home, his clothes were off in 5 minutes. He's back. He's my hero. So happy. He was so happy. He just
say, shit, I'm ready. What you talking about?
He packed in 1 minute. He was tearing his clothes off and running around the house like it was crazy.
He's my hero.
Hey, let me say something too. For the families out there, the parents out there, understand this, man. We got to get back to reconnecting with each other. You guys have been so focused on being parents that a lot of times your partner feels like they haven't been a part of this. So we got to reconnect and get back to ourselves and our partners and our wives and our husbands.
And don't be brainwashed into believing that your kids say you're this or you're mean. You know, last month we both were honored for work we do with children, my husband and I. And I can't even tell you the speeches people made about us. And it made me feel so good because my son made us feel like we were nothing. That, you know, and so I looked around, I thought, you know, all these people respect us and like us. It isn't us. It's what he's going through. Right. And I have to respect what he's going through.
I totally agree.
But I cannot be dragged down with what he's going through.
Trust me, I feel I'm embracing this whole empty nester thing, and it's going on a year. And I'm like at a point, like I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm like, oh, I could go do this. Oh, I get to do that. But to mirror what you're saying, Jules, the amount of people that come to me said, man, Mark, you the best damn dad.
Come on,
you got that girl across that high school stage. You found that girl a college education. Regardless if it was through ball or not, you put that girl in a position and she chose differently. So it's her accountability.
That's right.
Her accountability.
100%. And that's why I say, Coach, it bothers me when I appreciate when I see I see people tell parents, you know, you had to be a trash parent for your child to go no contact. No. And I tell them in their face, you's a motherfucking lie.
Yes,
that
sir.
ain't true.
Yes, sir.
That is not true. You know, friends influence, spouses influence. It's a lot of different influences that happen. Lies influence. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of different things that happen. So parents that on this live right now, understand, just because your child went no contact, that don't mean you were a trash parent.
Exactly.
That does not mean that.
It took a minute for me to embrace it because I wanted to know where did I go wrong. But then when I stepped back and looked at it, no, I was not perfect. But at the end of the day, if you look at every step of the way, I put her in a position to go be a better person on your own. I gave you the platform. I might even clean the street for you so you knew which way to go.
Yep.
Wipe the shit away.
You
Go
chose a
ahead,
different. You chose a different way. You went down the dirt road. I gave you paved with
Come on.
lights and painted lines.
Come on.
You chose the dirt road.
Come on.
And you know what? There's consequences to that choice too, because Coach taught me there's gonna be something for him at the end, but it ain't gonna be all of it.
Nope.
Exactly. 100%. And that's why I tell people all the time, man, as parents, you have to understand, once you felt like I've done my best, I gave you what I could, I did my best, give yourself some grace, move on, and say, you know what? It is what it is.
Yes.
Until you get to that point to where you want to mature and have an adult conversation, and maybe we can work on our relationship, like Coach said earlier, keep the dough cracked. Until then, I got to love myself more than I love you.
Listen, on Easter Sunday, when I almost died choking, and I literally, right now I'm sitting here with bruised ribs and I got a heating pad on, it also gave me this peace. Like, I got to live my life because it could be snuffed out in 1 minute.
Come on.
You got that right.
Coach, what you always say? We ain't got that much time ahead of us now.
No, sir. You ain't got that much more time. I'm at the double nickel now, so I'm already halfway into this shit. So the next half is for me.
It's for me.
And
Exactly.
Easter Sunday started out beautiful. I was in a great mood. I was feeling great. I've been doing yoga, lifting weights. I was doing wonderful. And just that one bite of food, and I was
choked on a pork chop. You know what I'm saying?
I choked on a lamb chop.
A lamb chop.
And I was like, and I was passed out, and I saw my whole life flash before me. And when I came to, my whole family was all around me worried. And I said, these are the people who love me. I have people who love me unconditionally. My son can figure it out.
Hey, and think about something. We sitting up here worried about somebody that's not concerned about us.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm just worried about somebody. You worried about having somebody in your life that don't give a damn about you.
Don't give a damn.
Nope. If they gave a damn, they wouldn't have the mother, the father, so upset and feeling the way that they don't give a damn about you.
It's torture. And if they know it's torture, and that's what I can't understand, because I could never have tortured my mother like that.
No, but that's what
they feed on that. They feed on that.
Yes,
come on, Lynn. Say it again, Lynn.
They feed on that. You know what? I thought I had ovarian cancer. I told you guys I just got out of surgery 6 weeks ago. You know, I was in a hospital. My son didn't call me one time. He called me when I got out to see how I was doing. I think I heard from him, except the time I didn't answer 3 times in these 6 weeks. But you know what? I'm so good with that. And you know, I don't even understand why I'm so at peace with it. You know, because I remember crying like a baby and just, but ever since, like I say, that day my husband had to get me up off that floor. That taught me something. So you know what? I mean, I love him to death. He's my kid, but I ain't gonna even lie. If I leave him something, if something happened to me, it's going to be the bare minimum.
I want to ask you a question, though. What do you think changed whenever you was on that floor and your husband helped you up? What changed?
You know what? I think, because I've cried many days. Many days I've cried. I kid you not. Never to the point where it was so devastating. I think what changed that day was I finally got to see me. Not him. I finally got to see me because, it had been to the point where I was living a lie. I've been chasing a dream. I've been chasing a kid. I've been chasing my son, not a grown man that has to live his life, that has to find his way. A grown man that has his own family and his own mistakes to make in this life. I've been chasing my son. I've been chasing a kid. When I got up off that floor and I finally reflected on it, it was me that I had to work on, not a relationship with my son. I'm not working on that no more. I'm working on me.
Yes.
It's about me now. And if he finds himself and he works on himself, then maybe we can get together. But I'm not chasing a kid and I'm not chasing an adult either. And I had been chasing a kid. And that kid is gone, and it's a grown man standing in that place. That's what changed. I started working on me.
Ooh,
Yep.
Lord.
There it is. There it is.
There,
There it is.
what
Say
you say,
less.
Coach? There it is. Timus, I'm glad you hopped back on. What's going on with you?
Oh,
Damn, man, that was powerful.
I got the phone call from the vet. I had to drop. I'm sorry about that.
No, you fine, Timus.
So I wanted to touch on something that y'all, when you were talking about empty nest, right? And I know there's some estranged children in here. Whether we are estranged from our children or they're in our life, empty nest is hard.
Correct.
And it's going to be hard on the estranged children when they become empty nesters. And I hope that they can learn something from this.
100%. So Thomas, let me say, because I know we got some ECs in here tonight. You know, we talk about a lot of times where you have to be careful because the way that you're treating your parents right now, trust and believe your children are paying attention to that, right?
So I've said it before. My mom was estranged from basically her entire family.
Correct.
She was straight off the boat from Europe. She had a sister that lived in Tampa. She never went and saw her. So did I grow up thinking it was normal? Absolutely. But I never allowed my mom's, when we would go back to her country of origin, I would always go see my one aunt by myself. I never allowed it to interfere with me.
But do you think that's because I know a lot of times, you know, the ECs will say, well, you know, I'm not going to treat my children certain ways. I'm not going to do this and do that. But I say all the time, what are you showing them? You're showing them, to me, that any type of conflict, any type of issue, you tuck and hide your tail. That's what you're showing them.
I agree with that.
Right?
I agree with it if it's minuscule and not sexual or like that kind of stuff.
Hey, and hold on, and because we on here, and I'm gonna say it again, I'll say it again tonight. They got some trash ass parents. We always said, I'm not saying that all parents are good or you know whatever. They got trash parents. We just keeping it real for the ones who parents tried to raise them the correct way and did the things that they needed to do. Understand, you showing your children right now how to treat people that you have a disagreement with.
Yeah, but guess what? They could do everything perfectly and the way they think it should be, different from us, and do it all the way they think they're going to have these great, and their kids can still do it to them like they did it to us. Their children are another generation too.
Correct. 100%.
Oh, 100%. Everybody feeds off of everybody. Every generation feeds off every generation. I think for this generation, I think technology and social media got in the way even bigger than we thought.
Oh, I was going to say that, Coach Mark. I was going to say that my grandchild's generation, I think, is probably going to be less sociable.
Yep.
I don't even think that she'll have to go to high school with ChatGPT. What do you need school for anymore?
100%.
And it's going to take emotions out of everything.
100%. You're 100% right. But no, I just want to say that because a lot of times, you know, they say they changing the narrative. They're doing things differently. Understand the way that you're parenting your current child right now. Like you say, you're doing things differently. Realize they might not see the way that you're parenting the same way that you're doing it. They might take it into another direction. They might be like, you know what? I consider that as trauma. And you're showing them that they have a disagreement with their parent, or they don't like something that you do or that you say, they're going to go no contact with you. The cycle keeps repeating itself.
I heard something.
What's the old saying your parents always say? Wait till you have kids?
Wait till you have kids.
But I heard something today, and it was true for me. It wasn't until I viewed my mom as a human with a past that I was able to have a good relationship with her.
Ooh. That's real.
I heard it. I didn't make it up, but it like stuck with me.
Because think about sometimes we put our parents on such a high pedestal, right? And we feel like they got it all figured out, but we forget they are humans, right?
We forget everybody's human in today's world.
We're all human, so they've made mistakes. And that's what I try to tell the ECs that I talk to on a day-to-day basis. Give your parents some grace for some things. Like, and like Thomas said, I ain't talking about no assault. I ain't talking about no beating. I ain't talking about none of that. Hell no. If they did all that, they trash. What I'm saying is the ones who you thought that, you know what, some of the things that they've done or that they said were out of line, give them some grace and understand this was their first time being parents. There's no book on how to be a parent.
There's no instructions on how to do this. Once that child comes out in the first breath of air, you already in that mode. Like, I gotta go do this, I gotta go do that, I gotta make sure this, I gotta make sure you're doing everything that you think. But I promise you, there's some box that you didn't check.
Correct.
Yes.
100%.
Okay, Weston.
Hey, Tom, you seen what Kirsten just said?
Yeah, here's the deal. I'm a only child spoiled brat, okay? It took me till I was, oh my God, I'm 51 in July. It took me until September of 2022 to realize that. And
So
you know
you got
what?
a
And
long
also
time,
not
baby.
just that. It was a lot changed with me then. Instead of going after my mom reactively, I learned to leave droplets of stuff that I wanted her to realize. And once I learned that if I could just leave a droplet about a medication, I was like, oh, wow, you're on that medication. Guess what? She would go and research it and figure it out for herself and then call me up and be like, oh, I got to come off of that. Whereas before I would be like, that shit's making you batshit crazy. I mean, it wasn't just cathartic. It was very cathartic for me and my mom to no longer be butting heads and for me just to accept her for who she was without trying to change her.
Correct. Hey, and look, Miss Behavior just said, I've taken this no contact and took a long look at my mom, myself, and patterns that changed me. Hey, look, that's deep right there. And I think a lot of us parents, we need to do that, Miss Behavior. I think a lot of us parents have a lot of trauma deep down inside of us that we don't even realize from the way that we were brought up. Some of the things that we felt like was casual, that was normal, man, we got
Give me an
issues.
example.
Huh?
Give me an example.
I mean, just like for me, Thomas, and you think about it, right? I seen my auntie one time tell her daughter, "Shut your ugly ass up." That sounds normal to me, right? That's a normal saying. But I can't imagine a young lady hearing that and start to question how she looked. Y'all know women. It's all about the way that you look. That lowered her self-esteem.
So let me tell you something. The day my mom died, I'm sitting at the kitchen table with her. She had an appointment that afternoon. And she looked at me and she said, I have to ask you a question. And I said, oh my God, what is it? And she goes, I watch how much you eat. And I said, yeah, Mom, I don't eat a lot and I'm still fat. I don't understand it either. So that's me. My mother was still talking to me about my weight the day she died.
I'm saying though, like,
but it didn't affect me.
But see, that's because we wired that way, right? We're wired that way. But I also think deep down, some people that would have affected them, right? It's like what I realized, Thomas, everybody ain't wired the way that I'm wired. Like, I ain't a whole lot that I give a damn about. Like, a lot of stuff don't bother me. Me and you had a conversation. I ain't too much shit that really just bothers me. I don't really give a damn.
Right. We're going to like the video. We're going to like the video.
I don't care, right? No big deal. But like we say, Thomas, everybody's different. Some people would have, man, my mama been calling me fat my whole life, and I started to feel that way and believe that way. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, they get into those thoughts, and I think some of that trauma was passed, was from the past, and we never dealt with it, so we passed that trauma on to our children. You get what I'm saying?
I guess, but you know what? I don't buy into that, and maybe I'm wrong. Generational stuff. Like, my mother had a horrific childhood. Did she bring that on to me? No. I just believe that.
Whoa, hold on. Okay, you said your mama had a horrific childhood, right?
Horrific. Yeah.
Correct. But some people would consider what she said to you was horrific.
I mean, maybe, but I mean.
But you get what I'm saying?
She was really, on that day, more concerned about my health.
But I'm saying, you can see it both ways, though, because some people, like, for me and you, we like, man, that ain't no big deal. But some people will be like, well, man, that could be traumatic. It's kind of what Jules said earlier to me, Thomas.
But it goes back to that old saying, right? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I know it's simplified.
But this generation don't process that.
No.
Look, for instance, right? I know Marie's in here, so I'm just going to use her as an example. If she was my daughter, I would be telling her, "Girl, you got to get some weight on those bones."
Correct. That's exactly. But for
But
us,
she
that's
only
normal.
like 100 soaking wet.
Look. Sherry just says, "My father abused me, but I received counseling and forgave him. Only keep physical distance." Let's see. That's what I'm saying, though, y'all.
That's powerful.
That's powerful, and that's the way. That's the way we were brought up. This generation ain't dealing. They ain't dealing with it like that, Sherry. Mark, they ain't dealing with that.
No,
Mark.
they're not. Nope.
You know what I'm
We
saying?
get
Because-
all the phrases and the sayings we grew up on that we ended up. It took us a while to understand what it meant.
Yup.
This generation don't want to hear that.
Don't want to hear that shit. And think about it though, Mark. Let's be real. I'm finna keep it real with you, Sherry. Like for me, if my father abused me like that, just the way I am, I can't mess with you no more. I can't deal with you no more. Kudos to you for being a bigger person, but I'm speaking for me personally. You gotta see me on site. I can't deal with you no more like that. Because to me, that's on a whole nother level of disrespect and trauma that you went through from the person who should love you the most, your parent. So I have a serious problem with that. But kudos to you. So some things I feel with the new generation on. I can't go for that, Coach.
I don't understand that comment.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
can't go
remember
for
my
that.
mother, she had cancer, and I had brought her into my house. I was taking care of her. And I went into her room, and I was doing something. I can't remember. She said, "Get your fat ass out of here." And I walked away. I wasn't fat no more. I was so small. But,
Lynn, how did that make you feel at that time, though, Lynn?
But at the time, I was thinking, "Ain't this something? Here, I'm taking care of her or whatever." But you know what? I think she did that too. And, because she had cancer and she was hurting to her, And, but she knew that I was always self-conscious about my weight.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it was, it was a way for her to get back at me. You know what? And I ain't even fat. That's the killing part about it. Don't misunderstand. I'm not a size 9, but
I'd be happy to be a size 12 at this point.
But I ain't busting out in the 20s either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Meat on the bones, man.
Yeah, I got some meat on my bones. You know what I mean? But I think when a parent says that, and you younger and you a kid, that does something to the psyche.
Yeah.
It really does. My youngest son, he's been a fat boy most of his life.
I can't
Well, he has until that baby fat kind of, you grow up and it kind of sheds. But and they would call him fat, and he'll come home and he'll be crying to me. You know what I'm saying?
And you were like, "Shut up
with your fat ass." No, I'm just kidding. I ain't never I never did that. But
man, you lying, lady.
I know she lying.
I ain't lying. I might have said it once or twice when he made me mad.
Yeah.
But
Oh my God.
It does something to the psyche.
No, but it does, though.
It does.
And that's what I'm saying. We don't realize that, man, but that happened. And Lynn, you're right. In our generation, that was normal. It was normal for my auntie to call my cousin, like, "What your ugly?" I'm like, "Dang, how you want to tell somebody they ugly?" Like, and I can only imagine for a young lady to hear that, you carry that along with you, right?
Yep.
I think we internalized it. You internalized it and might show up in a different way. But we didn't feel we had the right to say, "Don't say that to me." We just took it.
Correct.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But Jules, and a lot of that I still say to this day, when we're raising our children, that's why I tell parents, man, look at the bigger picture. It's a lot of things that we did wrong, and a lot of things that we said to our children that we need to go back and check ourselves on.
Yes.
But a lot of parents believe what I say is king of king. So I don't give a damn you're going to like it or not. And I just don't think that's right. I think we need to check ourselves on certain things. Certain things you need to stand 10 toes down. But certain things you should be like, you know what? I may have been the way I told you that, or the way that I said this and that, Daddy was wrong on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be a bigger person sometimes. You know.
So can I blow up the chat really quick?
Go ahead.
Oh, God, that was probably the wrong word to use. But has anybody seen the estranged child that read her email to her mother?
I did see that. We see me and Nobi was talking about that. We seen that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was very interesting. But like,
wait. Is it a child or is it like an adult?
It's an adult.
It's an adult.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. The lady that's in I think she's in New Orleans. I think it is.
Oh, I don't know where she's at, but she read the email she wrote to her mother.
It was like a poetry type verse.
No. It was like it was something, but then she paraphrased what her mother wrote back.
Yep. So and what did you take out of that, Thomas?
I don't know, because like her mother, from what I gather, basically said, I've sat in my hurt for X amount of years. And I can't change who I am. She went to therapy with her daughter. She also called her daughter and asked her if it was okay if she used funds from her inheritance, not the daughter's, but inheritance that the mother had received, to buy a house for a child, for one of her siblings. Correct. So, I mean, I don't know what kind of hateful mother would do that.
The way I took it, to be honest with y'all, it seems like to me the mother had been trying to work on a relationship with the daughter. And she's been trying to work on it for a long time. And she got to that point to where mama was tired. Yep. Mama was basically saying, you know what? Hey, I'm tired. We tried to do this. I'm at peace with you not being in my life.
Yes.
And Jules, it came back to what you said earlier. When you stop chasing them,
oh yes,
all of a sudden she reaches out to her mother.
Yes.
You stop chasing them.
You stop chasing them. And I lost 35 pounds in 2 months.
The thing is that it was the daughter's choice to go no contact.
It was the daughter's choice to go no, but that's what I'm saying.
The mother respected it.
It was the daughter's choice to go no contact, but mama said, you know what, I'm gonna let you live over there in your like Mark say, sit in your shit.
But see, my son didn't announce he was going no contact. He thinks our relationship is good still. He's like delusional.
That's what most of them do, though.
I go like, what? Like, he's like, oh, mom, what do you mean? We talk a lot. Like, he's nuts. And I'm like, okay.
And that's what most of them do. They don't tell you. They just go no contact, so you never really know. And so this young lady was saying, in her situation, she went no contact. And so she's talking to, she's sending her mother email and basically said, hey, mom, can we work on our relationship? What do you think about this? Mama
No, she did not say that. Well, she said, this is how we're going to do it, and I only want to have conversations via email.
Exactly. So she was like, hey, let's do this. So mama hit her back and was basically, and I'm paraphrasing this, she was like, you know what? I don't know if I really want to get into that. I really don't know how I feel about having a relationship with you. I'm kind of at ease right now in my life. And I came to the realization that you will not be part of my life. And then she went on to explain what Thomas was saying earlier about buying a house and doing all that type of stuff. And
getting permission from her daughter.
Yeah, getting permission from her. And she was just like, I'm kind of good. So what I took away from it, mama's like, man, I done did every damn thing I could. Yeah. I done tried to do my best. You wanted me to be out of your life. I was out of your damn life. I went to counseling with you. We done did it all.
And I understand that, mother, because you know why? With my son reaching out this week and stuff because of what happened to me, you're terrified that if you go all in, you're going to go right. Whenever something hits him wrong, he's going to do the same thing again. Right, and you don't want to feel that torture again. Yeah. So I understand the mother wanting to protect herself.
I just felt like the mother to me was just setting boundaries, and she was like, I'm sticking on 10 toes. I'm not going through that emotional aspect.
Here's my question for you. Why did that lady have to bring it to social media?
Yeah, that was piss poor. Yeah, I thought that was piss poor.
She's not young.
No, she's not young. Nah, she ain't no young.
I get this weird feeling. I know what y'all talking about. And the way
she has the rainbow eyeglasses.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay, so it's a different person. There's another lady that I watched, and she was military, and I think she's in New Orleans. She's got a son, and she read some sort of poem or email or something that she sent to her mother, and they're estranged. The whole family is like distancing itself from each other. the brothers against the sisters against the wife, and it's a whole hot mess.
Yeah, no, that's a different one. I just don't understand why it has to be brought to social media. It's in the
another way to
comments.
hurt you. It's
I don't
another way
think
for
that.
control.
Yeah.
You know, these
But
kids want to control
that's
you.
this generation. They believe social media is the way to how to
Yep.
take care of things.
I also don't believe that the comments went the way she expected them to.
Yes.
Because she was pretty triggered, not triggered, but she would pick and choose which ones to reply to. And one of them she got really upset over, and that was the inheritance one.
And that's what she did. Like I say, it didn't go the way that she thought it would. You know, and that's what people got to realize, man. When you put yourself out there like that, it may not go the way that you think it should.
You got to have thick skin and not give a shit.
That's right.
And don't reply.
Let
right?
them lose control over you. Let them lose the control over you.
Correct. But it comes back down to earlier what we're saying. The mama stopped chasing.
Yes.
Mama stopped chasing.
That's what happened.
That's what happened. Mama said, you know what? I'm stopped chasing. I'm going to go on with my life. Then all of a sudden, the daughter says, well, let me reach out to her and see if we can rekindle this, relationship. And Mama was like, shit, we good.
I'm not going to be home. I'm going to be like Coach, spending my money with somebody
exactly.
Man, I'm playing space. I can't answer the phone.
Look, man. Hey, look, I'm about to go give me some dinner. I just text my son. I'm waiting on him to come up in here right now. But, man, hey, I appreciate y'all coming on the live tonight. Thank you again, Thomas, Miss Lynn, Coach Mark, Jules. Jules, I'm so happy for you. Thank you, guys, man. Get out there. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much.
Hey, is that the theater room?
Thank you.
Huh? Is that the theater room?
Yeah, this is the theater room. I don't know about the yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Can't hide money.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You see, hey, Coach, look at that. You see that right there?
I know. I saw that. I was about to say, hey, let me get that.
Hey, man, what you know about NBA Jam, Coach?
That's classic right there.
You know
Let me
what I'm
get
saying,
that.
Coach? You don't know nothing about that, man. But no, I appreciate y'all, man. Like I say, I'll see y'all next week.
Yes, sir.